Misdemeanor, DUI, or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. With 3 games remaining in their regular season, the Nuggets have fired coach Michael Malone. Denver, in addition, will not extend the contract of GM Calvin Booth. Malone, the winningest coach in franchise history, led the Nuggets to an NBA title in 2023. Denver's lost 4 straight, is one of 6 teams who can finish anywhere from 3rd to 8th in the Western Conference. ESPN NBA reporter Ramona Shelburne.
I'm surprised that they did it, and yet now in the NBA, nothing is surprising anymore, right? And I think some of this is reflective of the tension that a lot of these teams in the West that are really good, and they all think they can win, and they all have the ability to win, but they're bunched so tightly together between 3 and 8 right now, are feeling. And the Nuggets are heading in the wrong direction, clearly.
Ramona Shelburne on Freddie and Harry. Lead assistant David Adelman is Denver's interim head coach. Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell out tonight against the Bulls with a sprained left ankle. Cleveland needs one more win or a Boston loss in order to wrap up the top seed in the East. Celtics tonight take on the Knicks. New York can clinch the East 3 seed with a victory.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, is Aaron Rodgers finally going to announce where he's going, or is he going to continue to keep us in the dark? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU basketball GM Ronald Dupree in 15 minutes. Shea Dixon next hour. Mike Triplett, Jared Mitchell in hour 3. Plum ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, after a week-long hiatus for spring break, the LSU football team was back on the practice field on Tuesday. Media was allotted to watch about 20 minutes. They'll be back out there again Thursday with about 20 minutes of media availability. And then the spring game or spring practice, whatever they're going to call it now, will be Saturday. Remember, the Tigers do have 2 practices next week. Brian Kelly kind of shifted the schedule a little bit for that end. But of great note from Tuesday is that a very big returnee, both literally and figuratively. Tank, Jacobian Guillory, was at practice on Tuesday in pads. Now, he was not going through the contact portion of practice, but still almost 6 months to the day after Jacobian Guillory ruptured his Achilles in the second game of the season. It was September the 7th against Nicholls. Almost 6 months to the day, he's out there in pads going through some light workouts, which was awesome to see. Remember, Jacobian Guillory was supposed to be your best defensive lineman a year ago. And when he got injured, it caused a domino effect throughout your defensive front. Gio Paez had to kick inside to play the zero technique. Paris Shan moved from end interior to tackle, so he had a 270-pound tackle. It forced Ahmad Bro, as a true freshman, to play a lot more reps as he was moving from end in high school to tackle in college. It was very unenviable, and he was a linchpin in the middle of your defense. So you have used the year to build up that position again with Bro and McKinley. You brought in Shadur Mitchell via the transfer portal. You signed 4 freshmen. You've got Sean Washington back as well, and now you're adding Guillory to the mix. This is fantastic. See, I'll tell you, for me, when I was thinking about this recovery, and usually an Achilles recovery, the timetable is projected to be about between 6 and 9 months. And we often see Achilles in basketball can be a devastating, sometimes career-ending injury because those guys rely so much on explosiveness and athleticism for jumping and running. But when you talk about a big 300-plus pound lineman that's using their Achilles and leaning and having other bodies leaning on them so much, I mean, you can understand the strain it's putting on that tendon. But I remember Sheldon Rankins with the New Orleans Saints. This isn't a college example, but it's the one that you may remember being from around here. In that 2018 playoff run, so this was January of 2019, in the divisional round, the Saints beat the Eagles. Then, of course, was the Nola no call. But in that game against the Eagles is when Rankins ruptured his Achilles. He was inactive for the first 3 games of the following season. Remember, that was January. He was inactive for the first 3 games, but he was back week 4, September the 29th, and he played 10 weeks and then got injured again later in the season, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, he recovered from the ruptured Achilles and was back in September from a January rupture. So all that to say, from September to September, you would anticipate Jacobian Guillory being full strength, like 100% ready to go for fall camp in July, and certainly ready to go, if not at the start of fall, in July, end of July, early August. You would certainly anticipate by the time you go play Clemson in September that Guillory should be, he'd be a year removed from the injury, be ready to go. But fantastic to see him out there today. Again, not doing any contact, but great to see Jacobian Guillory back out there. Now, the flip side of it is one of the guys I just mentioned, Shadur Mitchell, was seen kind of getting tangled up and kind of had to be helped off the field on Tuesday. You hope that's not serious. And I'll be very curious, Shadur Mitchell's role on this team, because one of the really interesting things is people always ask, when you go to practice, what do you see? It's interesting to me because Mitchell is one of those guys who at times, tipping the scales at 350 pounds, has looked unblockable. When they've run double team drills, 1 defensive lineman, 2 offensive linemen, he has successfully split double teams, and he has been downright, unblockable at times in those drills. But you look back at his past year at Texas, he played in just 6 games for Texas, had 36 snaps on the season, not 36 tackles. He had 36 snaps on the entire season. So that's a guy who was very little used playing for Bo Davis at Texas. Bo Davis thought enough of him, though, to bring him to Baton Rouge. Now, Bo Davis is with the Saints, but Mitchell's one of those guys who it'll be really interesting to see how he fits in. That defensive line group is it's so as disappointing as it is that Bo Davis left. There's a lot of reason for optimism with Kyle Williams and how he fits and what they're going to be trying to do, but also just the numbers. With Guillory coming back, which is great, Shadur Mitchell coming in, Bro and McKinley another year older, Sean Washington back for another season, another big body there. And then you got the 4 freshmen coming in with Zion Williams, Dylan Battle, Brandon Brown, and Walter Mathis. You finally have numbers and depth combined with young talent and veteran experienced players. And it's going to be fun, to watch that defensive line rotation. But great news today seeing Jacobian Guillory out there. The other observation from practice on Tuesday, I'll flip the line of scrimmage, is the offensive line rotation. Now, I want to be clear that I'm not overreacting to these offensive line rotations because, I think Brian Kelly has been very forthright in talking about this, that this is all written in sand. This is nothing hard and fast, and we shouldn't be making anything of it. And I always say actions speak louder than words, and it actually does kind of shape to that because, they're doing the same thing in the secondary where there's just no real rhyme or reason to how they're lining up at corner or at safety. And I say no real rhyme or reason. Really, it's to only say there's no consistency. It's like they're truly trying to get everybody reps, and that's one of the beauties of spring. You got 15 practices to give everybody reps, to give guys a look at different positions where they can take reps at those positions, and the coaching staff can get looks at these guys in certain spots. So that's kind of what they're doing. But on the offensive line on Tuesday, the ones from left to right were Tyree Adams, Paul Mabenga, DJ Chester at center. Cohen Nicholls was running first-team right guard. And then Weston Davis at right tackle. Your second line from left to right was Carius Kern, Ori Williams at left guard. Remember, that had been Solomon Thomas. Braylon Moore at center, Bo Bordelon at right guard, and then Josh Thompson, the Northwestern transfer, at right tackle. Now, we've also seen Thompson playing at guard. A few things. Number one, I think it's fascinating to see Cohen Nicholls there playing first-team right guard. Again, it's probably just a situation where they're giving as many guys looks and opportunities in as many spots as possible. But Nicholls is a very highly regarded player who's a natural center. But if Chester's still running at the first-team center, and you got Braylon Moore vying for that spot, trying to get Nicholls involved and get him reps, he's getting looks at the ones at right guard right now. Also interesting that Solomon Thomas no longer in the two deep, that Ori Williams is in there at left guard. But the big ones are DJ Chester still holding down first-team centers. We all assume that's going to be Braylon Moore. But the other one is Josh Thompson. And again, he just showed up a week ago Saturday. So, because they're on the he was finishing out the semester at Northwestern. So I'm not going to overreact to him being here in such a short amount of time. But the thing that's worth watching for the remainder of spring, and certainly as they get to fall camp, is Josh Thompson playing tackle or guard. Because they would love for him to settle, and he played both at Northwestern. He played left tackle, right tackle, and right guard. They would love for him to settle in at right guard. In a perfect world, he's a starter at guard. But that's only necessitated if your tackles can't win their jobs. But if Tyree Adams and Weston Davis hold down those jobs at tackle, awesome. That would be your best case scenario on the offensive line. So on one hand, it's encouraging to see Adams and Davis still running with the ones at tackle. The other part of it is I don't love seeing Josh Thompson at tackle just on its face. But again, it's probably an instance where they're just getting him and a lot of different guys reps at a lot of different spots. So Tigers will be back on the practice field Thursday. Media will only have about 20 minutes. They'll have player interviews after practice on Thursday. And then Saturday is the spring game, spring scrimmage, where it'll be open to the fans, all the autograph session and all that stuff. And we'll be there watching it in totality on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Okay, it's after further review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. No matter what you might be watching, Tiger baseball tonight or this coming weekend, if you're going to be watching the spring scrimmage on Saturday, if you're heading to your favorite major league park here this spring or summer, make sure you've got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Buds and boils, nothing goes nothing goes together better like lamb and tuna fish. Buds and boils. Boil crawfish, Bud and Bud Light. Make sure you got plenty of it. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, we're not got a quick break. We got the news on Monday. Ronald Dupree, former Tiger great, returning to Baton Rouge, this time as LSU's basketball general manager. Ronald Dupree joins AFR next.
After further review.
Just plant something, y'all. That's the message from Clegg's Nursery. I can tell you about all the stuff they got, but does it really matter? I mean, you can go to their Facebook page and you can look, because every day when they get new stuff, and they get new shipments every single day, they post all their new shipments every single day on their Facebook page, so you can see all the great stuff. Look, this was 38 minutes ago. 38 minutes ago on their Facebook page over at Clegg's Nursery. Hanging baskets galore. They look glorious. You can go find your favorites at any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Seeing their airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. But it doesn't matter if it's hanging baskets, if it's whatever your favorite flower or plant may be, just get in the garden and plant something. You have all of these gorgeous spring and summer blooms that are popping, exploding with color. Great for your patio pots, your flower beds, by the pool. Beautify your outdoor space. Get some exercise and just plant something, y'all, with Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Nice find by Tipple, even better by Williams. And Dupree flashes to the goal, and they made it look easy in that sequence.
That is execution from LSU, doing a beautiful job moving the basketball and getting it to their score.
The audio quality tells you that highlight was about 25 years ago. Hard to believe. That's how long it's been since Ronald Dupree was wearing the purple and gold. But it is so good to have LSU all-time great Ronald Dupree back in the purple and gold, even if he'll be wearing a suit, as the newly formed LSU basketball general manager. Ronald Dupree is good enough to join us for a couple minutes. Hey, man, it's been a minute. Great to have you back in Baton Rouge. Great to have you back on the show. How are you?
Man, I'm great. I'm excited. Full circle moment, blessed, just left for the Sweet 16 reunion, which is awesome to see, a lot of familiar faces. And then, for this opportunity to kind of unfold, it's been wonderful.
Ronald, how did it come together?
Say it one more time.
How did this come together? When did this first opportunity first come on your radar?
Well, there's some former, I would say, executives that have left to go to other universities, and obviously in this NIL space, and now eventual revenue sharing, I guess mandate will come down pretty soon here. But seeing guys leave for these jobs, like a gentleman from Boston, OKC, I think had 2 executives leave and go to university. So I'm thinking to myself, man, so how many is this GM position changing? Because they had the position the last 2 years, but it's been kind of a GM/assistant coach role. And, and it's just been a different role. But I think now going forward is going to be more of a pro model position. And with that, there's a market. Wes Wilcox leaving Sacramento, was a former GM going to Utah. Like, there's some notable names that in our league that decided to go to college. So it kind of piqued my interest. And the first thing I thought about was does LSU have a GM yet? You know what I mean? And watching the team this past season and how they ended at the SEC tournament, it was just kind of on my heart of like, hey man, how can we improve the program? And like I said, coming back from the Sweet 16 reunion and seeing a lot of familiar faces, but at the end of the day, we lost that game to Texas at home. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of it being on my heart to like, how can I help out the program, continue to stay involved, and then with these executives leaving, it kind of piqued my interest. The next thing I know, I'm contacting and have a conversation with our staff and administration.
So you reached out first to say, hey, would you be interested?
Well, I was contacted.
Okay.
But obviously there were some proper channels that had to be, I had to go through first. But it piqued my interest for sure when I was contacted about it. And here we are.
So Ronald Dupree is our guest. So you, I'm guessing did you know Matt McMahon at all before this or before you were in for the reunion?
We met, funny enough, I think when Matt got the job, I had the family down for whatever reason. It might have been the Final Four in New Orleans, or for whatever reason, we were down in Baton Rouge at the Tiger Cage.
Okay.
Having the kids hang out. We were seeing Mike the Tiger, and I ran into Matt, like just walking. He had just got the job. I ran to him and a couple of his staff members, and that's when we officially met. But other than that, I didn't know him. It's not like we kind of talked on a regular basis. I've been hearing about him, and I heard how great of a guy he is, and I knew his background, come from Mary State. Isaiah Cannon played for him when he was on staff there. Isaiah's from Biloxi.
Mm-hmm.
I know John Morant, he helped, and he was on that staff when he was there as well. So I knew about him, but when we officially met, it was outside the Tiger Cage.
That's wild, man.
So yeah. So I don't know him well. I'm getting to know him now. Again, we would just cross paths. And so I obviously just saw him when I came down for the Sweet 16 reunion, and we kind of spoke again. But yeah.
For those who don't know Ronald, and Ronald Dupree is our guest, newly named LSU basketball general manager. You came back to LSU when your playing career was done. You were on staff in a support role, then went to Nevada, then to the NBA. Can you pick up with 2017 when you went into the NBA front office working in scouting, like what you've been doing basically the past 7-8 years now in the NBA?
Yeah, man. So as a player, I played with Detroit for 3 seasons, right? Joe Dumars, GM, president, basketball operations at the time, gave me an opportunity to join the Pistons. And, we had a great run, had a great, established a great relationship with my teammates, and still to this day. And a lot of front office executives at the time, scouts, John Hammond was there. He was assistant GM. Scott Perry was a scout at the time. He had a few GM role positions. So we developed a great relationship, believe it or not, which is now is probably less common, but at the time the facility was a one-level facility. So organically we would run into each other. I had ton of conversation with Scott Perry, and so I grew an affinity for the position of being a front office executive. Like when I was a player, my whole mindset was like, man, how can I be the next Joe Dumars, when I finished playing? So then fast forward, I'm finished playing. Johnny Jones offered me a job to coach, and I didn't know. I didn't want to coach. Like that wasn't ever in the forefront of my mind as a player. But I fell in love with coaching, and Johnny gave me that opportunity, and I thought I'd be coaching in college for a while. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, if the situation presents itself, I would love to get back to the NBA and be in the front office. So I'm in Nevada, and one of the guys that was with me, who was a video guy at the time in Detroit, this is 11 years later, he was, making his way up the ranks in the front office side, and he reached out to me and for an opportunity. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what team it was. and I was coaching at Nevada with Musselman, and he was like, "Hey man, you got any interest in coming to front office and scouting?" I was like, "Yeah, you know what I mean? That's something I always thought about doing to begin with." And so he offered me the job, not knowing at the time that it would be Milwaukee. And the GM, current GM, John Horst, was an intern at the time when I was a player in Detroit. So my relationship with the interns, with staff members, ended up paying off in that way where John hired me as a scout. So that's kind of how I got to Milwaukee. And for the first 4 years with just scouting, my title was a scout, but I moved in market to Milwaukee because of my relationship with John and with Ryan Hoover. And then eventually we won a championship at 21. They promoted me to director of global scouting, and that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years. So, man, just learning a ton in terms of evaluating talent. Agent relationships and fostering those. Agents are really a big part of the game right now, as we can see, not only in the pro side, but also in college. And just understanding process, driven decision making. John Horst is big in terms of process. Each department having a say before we make decisions. We've hired a few coaches, but just a ton of experience, a ton of great times, a few lows, but for the most part, we've been a championship contending team since we got here, and we are where we are today.
Championship winning team, 2021, of course. The Bucks were the NBA champion, and Ronald Dupree, part of that front office. Ronald, how does, and I know you played internationally as well, Germany, Italy, Israel, correct? Right?
Correct.
So how does, this is kind of the obvious question, right? And you've spoken to it a bit, but how does all of that experience, scouting and being the global director of scouting for the Bucks, how does that translate into whatever this role becomes at LSU?
I look at it going forward in college basketball. It will be a organizations, or I would say universities and programs that do it the right way. It will look like a pro model. And internationally, there's a market there for players, young players and young amateurs, because internationally, a lot of the young players that are on these EuroLeague, Euro Cup teams, they don't play a lot, but they're legitimate pro prospects for the NBA, but it's hard to tell whether they translate because they just don't play. You got to catch them in practice. You got to catch them at, U19s or Basketball Without Borders events, or these national events where they do get to play, which is rare, and they don't get paid a lot. And so a lot of them want to display their talent. They're intrigued with college. They don't really have any restrictions for coming over from FIBA. So it's an untapped market, which, there's a lot of possibilities there. And so knowing who the GMs are, knowing those, in between people and agents and internationally, me playing over there, me going over there twice a year while being in Milwaukee, that all helps in terms of connecting those dots for that market. And that's Europe. Then you got Australia, you got Africa. That's an emerging market as well of talent. So these kids are eligible and able to play college sports. They've been playing against and training against pro players and grown men. And fundamentally, they're just a little ahead of us now in the States. And that's kind of been an issue that, the NBA is trying to address as well. But see, all that experience, and only God knows, sometimes I wonder as a player why, I didn't play in the NBA longer. But, it's funny how, what my expectations were for playing long in the NBA led me to a G League or D League stint, or it led me to Germany, and it led me to Jerusalem, and it led me to all these places. And now I can see, I guess God had a bigger plan, you know what I mean? And it's all kind of been very valuable for the knowledge for what the landscape will be like moving forward.
Definitely a full circle moment. Hey, before you go, let me ask you just a very direct question. Do you think LSU has the resources to be a national championship contending team in basketball?
One of the reasons why I took this position is I did my homework, I did my research, I called around, I asked our supporters to ask that same question. Like, if the product is competitive and is the fan base, is the money there, the resources there to sustain success and support? And from what I gather, it is there. It is. There's opportunity there for this community to galvanize and get behind this program. But we got to put a product out there that people can get behind and be proud of. And that's a big goal of mine, to help Coach McMahon and administration and our staff. Like, how can we continue to put a product out there that people will continue to support? And I think the revenue sharing piece will cap a lot of the inflation right now with the NIL numbers for individual players, which I think will also help. Now, when that ruling comes down, we're waiting for that, but if the structure is there where the revenue sharing can at least put, some restriction on these ridiculous deals, I think it will help a lot of programs stay competitive and at least be in the arena. Yeah, we'll never probably have the type of year in, year out money that Kentucky and the Blue Bloods have, but I don't think we have to. And I think there's ways that we can capitalize on the margins and find value. But as long as we're competitive and have competitive resources, I think we can be successful and sustain it.
He is LSU basketball general manager Ronald Dupree. Looking forward to doing this again somewhere down the road, man. Welcome back home. We appreciate so much a couple of minutes in what's definitely a busy time. Welcome back to Baton Rouge. We'll visit again soon, okay?
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Tigers.
Go Tigers. That is Ronald Dupree. I'm fired up for it, man. Like, Ronald and I are around the same age. We're at LSU at the same time. Loved watching him play. And then, when he came back to LSU on Johnny Jones's staff, he was really good to the show, would come on with us from time to time. And you could just tell, he's a very thoughtful guy who has literally a world of experience on the international stage, and then also in the NBA and the D-League and all these different levels of basketball that hopefully he can help channel into helping recruit and manage a budget and resources, and using connections he has to find players both at home and abroad to maybe make this team a contender. We know what they're doing right now is going just dumping piles of money into this portal class to try to make it a contending team. We'll see if that works. But to build something sustainable, it's probably going to have to be more like what Ronald was talking about. We'll see if he can do it. Great to have Ronald Dupree back in Baton Rouge. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Dr. Blake Williamson, he's the best. He did my LASIK. Wouldn't trust anybody else put a laser on my eye. Dr. Blake Williamson is the absolute best. By the way, LASIK, if you're wondering, this was a big concern I had. And Dr. Blake Williamson really eased my concern. LASIK is the safest elective procedure in the history of mankind. So if that's part of your concern, don't let it be. Go have that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson, and you'll understand exactly what I did. Change your life. Give yourself the gift of sight. Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Shay Dixon normally with us in hour number one. That's when Ronald was available, so Shay was good enough to bump. We'll talk recruiting with Shay coming up here in about 45 minutes from right now. Mike Triplett will be here in hour three. Jared Mitchell will also be here in hour three. We'll talk a little Tiger baseball. Ton to do, and glad you're here. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
After Further Review.
No matter what industry you're in, you need the right people to succeed. It's that simple. Whether you're in radio, whether you're in roofing, whether you're a CPA, whether you are an attorney, whatever line of business that you're in, you have to have the right people. Without the right people to maximize efficiency and productivity, you can't win. Glow Resources helps you find those people. They like to say they are complete employer solutions. They used to say complete employee solutions, but they changed it because really who they work for is you, the business owner, you, the employer. Like, they're not a temp staffing agency. So if you're an employee looking for a job, don't contact Glow. They'll find you. But it doesn't matter what your business is looking for. Skilled blue-collar workers, any type of office job, they got their professional placement division that can find you C-level management, office executives, assistants, anything that you need, anywhere in the world. It's Glow Resources with a 96% success rate. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Use that. Give it up. Cryer. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Sharp. He walked. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. And it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world.
Okay. That sucked. I mean, I was kind of preparing for a dramatic finish, a make, a miss. And, you know, if it goes in, awesome. You're a hero. You're Jordan. You're Keith Smart. You're Mario Chalmers. I don't know. If it doesn't go in, at least you could say you took your shot. You're Gordon Bombay in the Little League Hockey Championship, and the Hawks finished second. That's what you are. That's the best I got. I can't think of another one. You got a good one? You got another one? You missed the game?
No, I like that one, actually. I think that was
Quarter
good.
of an inch, Charlie.
Yeah.
Quarter of an inch, and it would have gone in. Yeah, but a quarter of an inch the other way, you would have missed the whole goal. Yeah. Yeah, bleep Florida. I hate them. I don't want them to win anything. I'm not cheer for the conference guy. I never have been, never will be. Florida winning a national championship does nothing to help LSU, and that's the only thing I care about. So I was going for Houston. I put on Twitter earlier, did Houston blow it or did Florida win it? You can go vote on it on my Twitter at Matt Moscona. I mean, the answer is obviously both, right? I mean, Florida made plays to come back, and Houston turned it over on 4 consecutive possessions, didn't score in the final 2.5 minutes, and then what in the hell was that? 19 seconds left, you got the ball. Like, nothing? I mean, a contested off-balance leap at the top of the key, and then you drop the basketball and there's a scrum? Worst ending ever to a potential dramatic moment?
Definitely didn't live up to the hype. I would say the whole game didn't live up to the hype, but
Was this a hyped game? I don't think this was a hyped game.
it's 2 1 seeds going against each other in a national championship final.
In Florida. I mean, the best teams all year were Duke and Auburn. Florida certainly played very well this year. I mean, they warranted a 1 seed. Houston was a very good defensive team, limited offensively. I don't think this was a hyped game. I kind of feel bad for Houston. They led by double digits the whole damn game. Florida led for like a minute and 4 seconds.
A minute and 4 seconds. Bro, this is brutal. But that's kind of what they did throughout the entire tournament. They just kept coming back.
It's like Kansas City in the Super Bowls when they beat the Niners. They trailed the whole damn games, and then right at the end they took it. I guess whatever. Congrats to Florida or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I feel the same way.
No.
Leave Florida. I have nothing good to say about them ever. And by the way, how does their coach get to go send pics of his junk to students and then just completely get away with it?
Thank you.
Why does nobody mention this? Where are you, Pat Forty? Where are you, Dick Vitale? We got Pat Forty with a hard-on for Will Wade. Still talking about damn strong offers. But here's Todd Golden sending pictures of his junk to co-eds. And that just gets completely swept under the rug and everybody forgets it. And he's a wunderkind 39-year-old coach, youngest since Jimmy Valvano. And what are we talking about? Like, the guy's a creep. He's a total creep. I mean, whatever. But he wins, so whatever, man. He's our creep. Great, go get it. Just a completely underwhelming thing that happened yesterday. But whatever. Now it's baseball season. So let's get on to that. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. You need tires? Of course you do. Don't buy cheap tires. Buy the best tires for cheap prices. That's what you do at Shaw Bills. They'll sell you the best tires on the road, name brand tires, Michelin, Bridgestone, Firestone, BF Goodrich. The best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. And listen, you can elevate your driving experience when you go to Shaw Bills. I love it. You're going to get the best tires on the road, and they're going to treat you like family. So get on by any of the Shaw Bills locations. You can shop them online at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. With locations all over South Louisiana. You can schedule service online at ShawBillsTire.com and learn more. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Adu Thero is declared for the NBA draft after 1 season at Arkansas. The junior confirming the news on Instagram on Tuesday. 1 season in Fayetteville. Led the Hogs in scoring at 15.6 points per game. Actually began his career playing for Cal at Kentucky. Improved, and this year was really good there for his 1 season at Arkansas.
The Auburn Tigers.
Ted Pettiford.
Nah, it doesn't have the same effect as our guy Todd Peterson.
T-A-H-A-A-D. Ted Pettiford.
Yeah.
There's 3 A's and an H. Ted Pettiford. Tell me you wouldn't say it that way.
I mean, yeah,
Ted Pettiford.
I mean, now I will. When I read it earlier, it didn't dawn on me. But yeah, now that you bring that up, sure.
That's why I'm sitting here, Muse.
I mean, I kind of read it to Hod, but yeah.
I'm sitting here because it's Ted Pettiford. It's a P name afterwards as well.
Yeah. Such a bad movie.
Hit the soundbite.
Ted Peterson.
Ted Pettiford.
But it's the thing. It's not the name.
Would you just stop being so damn combative all the time and make something easy? Where's it? Can we get Alondra back? Alondra sang 3.5 minutes of rock.
I mean, I'll go back and lay in my recliner at home. Sure.
Check will bounce then, Muse. Let's see. Ted Pettiford.
Ted Peterson.
So bad. That's horrible, but all right.
He's going in the NBA.
Lord.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Oh, they got a top 10 transfer signee, and Jaden Quaintance chose Kentucky over Auburn. He's an Arizona State transfer, the number 6 transfer overall.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Oklahoma landed veteran transfer from Miami, Nigel Pack. He's the number 6 point guard. I'm crying. He's the number 6 point guard. Why was that so funny and stupid at the same time? He's the number 26 overall player, so he's leaving Miami, going to Oklahoma.
The Texas Longhorns.
Texas got 7-footer from Florida Atlantic, Matas Vokatitis. Oh. Vokatitis.
What are we going with there?
Titus. T-A-I-T-I-S. Titus.
All right. Vokatitis.
Vokatitis. Matas Vokatitis. It's Greek, yeah?
Lithuanian.
Same thing.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
4-star cornerback Peyton Dyer decommitted from South Carolina, because why would you want to go play there? All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Well, I got a quick break. We're glad you're with us. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Got an update on a former Tiger who's been named a starter now at his new school. We'll get to that. And Will Campbell's odds of being the first offensive lineman taken. Good for Will Campbell. We'll give you the latest next on AFR.
AFR.
Vokatitis. We're brought to you by Rouse's. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and, of course, the official supermarket of AFR. Y'all get them by any of the 70 Rouse's locations making groceries. You want seafood, they got you covered. By the way, not sure if you noticed, but there's a new energy drink flavor announced today by Livy Dunn, her own signature Livy drink flavor. You can find that at Rouse's. They got that if you want to find it. Also, y'all, today is Tuesday. It's sushi, $5 sushi Tuesdays at Rouse's. This is something they recently introduced. This is the Philadelphia roll or the California roll. You can find them over at any of the Rouse's locations. Just $5 sushi Tuesday. Select rolls, just $5 every Tuesday. Spicy California roll as well. So you're craving sushi, and let's be honest, sometimes we always crave sushi. $5 select sushi rolls at Rouse's every Tuesday. Get them by any of the Rouse's locations, rouses.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Oh. We got the link on the website now for Louisiana Saturday night. So if you go to louisianasports.net, Louisiana Muse, can you grab the copy points over there? Sorry. And I know I should do something else too. I'm a little scattered right now. Read the Louisiana Saturday night thing. Thank you.
Join LSU Athletics and the Tiger Athletic Foundation for Bayou Tradition's second annual gala, a Louisiana Saturday night featuring Jordan Davis. On the field in Tiger Stadium, Saturday, May 3rd, we are giving you on-field access. Register to win a spot at our table at louisianasports.net. And reserve your table at lsutaf.org/events.
Okay, so go to louisianasports.net. Paulie made the graphic. Thank you, Paulie. Rivers has it up there. So go to louisianasports.net, the banner at the very top. Just tap the banner, and then boom, there's the page to enter to win a seat at our table for the Bayou Traditions Gala on the field at Tiger Stadium right there. How about it? Let's go. Look at us getting stuff done here.
Love to see it.
Love to see that stuff, being productive and whatnot. Will Campbell will not be there. Actually, I don't know. He might be there. Why not? Could be. Probably won't be. Probably be him the week prior. But Will Campbell, for all of the conversation about 1/8-inch arms, for all that favorite to be the first offensive lineman selected in the upcoming NFL draft. He's followed by Armand Membu of Missouri, who's plus 150. If you don't know how betting works, minus 190 means you got to bet 190. Plus 150 means you bet 100, you win 150. So Will Campbell's actually a pretty significant board, which is awesome, and actually kind of in the NFL and scouting community when, put your thumb and forefinger together and then separate them just. That's what we're talking about, is what's going to nullify Will 4.940 at the combine, spent 3 years as a starting left tackle, over 38 games in the toughest league in America, allowed only 5 sacks, and one was his first game ever as a true freshman against Jared Verse. And we're going to say a 1/4 of an inch of his arms means this guy isn't going to be a good NFL player or can't play tackle. It's stupidity. And clearly all of that was just conversation, probably by agents, to drive that conversation about Campbell, to drive other people forward. And obviously at this point, intelligent people who have actually watched football have recognized this. So Mel Kiper's projecting Campbell 4th overall to the New England Patriots, but Will Campbell at this point is a pretty heavy favorite to be the first offensive lineman selected in the upcoming NFL draft here in less than 3 weeks. So that's awesome news. And as we say all the time, that's not plucked from the air. It's not pie in the sky. The information is good with the odds makers. So while there's no real value in betting the NFL draft, Cam Ward's minus 2,000 now to be the first overall pick because they know he's going to be the first overall pick. So this is a really good indicator Will Campbell is going to be the first offensive lineman off the board. So It seems like that's trending in a fantastic way for the former LSU consensus All-American. By the way, LSU has not had a first-round offensive lineman since Alan Faneca in 1998. Lyle Collins would have been in 2015, but for the pre-draft scandal that broke about his former girlfriend who had tragically been killed. But still, Will Campbell's going to break a very dubious streak here in a few weeks. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Y'all, the triple-digit temps are coming. You want to keep your energy bills low, install energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. They'll reduce those costly air leaks. It'll make your home more energy efficient. It'll lower your energy bills, saving you money, increasing your home's resale value, and you're always going to get exceptional customer service from Relief Windows. They're the best. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. We'll kick off hour 2 with that aforementioned Kuiper mock draft and who the Saints are taking at 9.
AFR.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. A Denver dismissal in the NBA. The Nuggets have fired coach Michael Malone and will not extend GM Calvin Booth's contract. Malone, the winningest coach in franchise history, led the team to an NBA championship 2 seasons ago. Denver has been scuffling a bit lately, is 4th in the Western Conference. ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania.
They've lost 4 games in a row. They're now in the bottom half in the league in defensive rating. And so they felt like the signs were there that this season was not going to end well. And if you're going to make this decision at the end of the season to let go of Michael Malone and Calvin Booth and do a full reset, they're getting out ahead of what they felt they were going to do come the offseason.
Lead assistant David Adelman is interim coach in Denver. Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell, sprained ankle, will not play tonight against the Bulls. Cleveland is 1 win or 1 Boston loss away from clinching the 1 seed in the East. Celtics take on the Knicks tonight. Former Major League pitcher Octavio Dotel was among those who died after a roof of a nightclub in the Dominican Republic collapsed early this morning. Dotel was 51 years old.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, is Aaron Rodgers finally going to announce where he's going, or is he going to continue to keep us in the dark? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. Mike Triplett next hour. Jaron Mitchell talking about LSU baseball next hour. A plumb ton to do, and glad that you're hanging out with us here. So on Friday, Shadur Sanders had his pro day at Colorado. After his pro day, Shadur Sanders, in no uncertain terms, said what he thought of teams that would choose not to pick him in the NFL draft.
All I need is opportunity. Simple. Whatever franchise want to change their franchise, then there's no doubt who to go with. I've done it over and over and over, so you'll be a fool not to pick me.
Woo! I love that so much. You know what? Mel Kiper agrees. Mel Kiper, when he was talking on Get Up on Tuesday, the day that his latest 2-round mock draft was released, Mel Kiper talked about who he's had as QB1 on his board from jump.
He's my QB1. I've had him that way pretty much all year, have not changed. Not pretty much, all year it's been Shadur Sanders for me. Others now are critical. They're wondering what kind of NFL quarterback can he. Why? Because he doesn't have the great arm. He's not going to run a 4.6, and he's not 6'4". But when you talk about what Tom Brady was able to do in the NFL, Shadur Sanders will go about his business the same exact way at 6'1.5", 212. So for me, New Orleans, ideal fit.
By the way, have we mentioned the fact that Shadur Sanders trains with Tom Brady too? Listen, I've been banging the Shadur Sanders drum for a while. If the Saints don't draft him, I'm not going to be heartbroken. If he's there at 9, they take him, I'll be pumped. I mean, I've been very clear. When you're as bad as the Saints are and you need everything, I'm going to be okay with whatever they do at 9, except there's 2 scenarios I'll not be okay with. One is drafting a running back, and it's not that I don't think Ashton Genty's a good player. It's that when you're the Saints, you're nowhere close to competing, and no position deteriorates and depreciates faster than running back, you're not going to be a contender while Genty's on your roster. There's no sense in drafting him. And by the way, your offensive line stinks. So that's 1, and 2 is trading up. Those are the 2 things from 9. Those are the 2 things I'm not okay with. You want to take best available at 9, come back in at the end of round 1 to take a quarterback? Okay. Like, I'd be good with that. But Mel Kiper, in his latest mock draft, does in fact have the New Orleans Saints with the 9th pick taking Colorado quarterback Shadur Sanders. And he notes that if the Sanders do not go to the Giants, there aren't a lot of landing spots for him in the top 10. He could slide. Maybe a team could trade up for him. Maybe the Saints, who have 9 picks, could trade back into round 1 for Sanders somewhere along the way. There's a lot of ways that could happen. Listen, I have been pretty consistent here with my thoughts on Shadur Sanders. There's a lot. He checks a lot of boxes. He has been a winning quarterback. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football, completing 74% of his passes this past season. He took Colorado from 1 win to 4 wins to 9 wins. He did it with no semblance of a defense and getting the holy hell kicked out of him every single game. No quarterback in 2023 was sacked more than Shadur Sanders. And you never heard him calling out his linemen or anything like that. Oh, by the way, he's also rich and famous. You always wonder what's going to happen with a guy when he gets to the NFL and has fame and money. Well, Shadur Sanders had fame and money his whole life, certainly his college career. Don't really worry about it. So I think he checks a ton of boxes. I'd be pumped if they drafted him. By the way, here was Mel Kiper walking through the scenario of how Shadur Sanders could be there on the board at 9 for New Orleans.
Yeah, first of all, Cleveland and the Giants, Grant, getting the best players in the draft at 2 and 3. That would be Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, passing on the quarterback there with Cam Ward going number 1. That gets Shadur down to New Orleans. Remember, I had Shadur going 3 and then Jackson Dart at 9. So really what I'm talking about here is the Saints' new head coach, Kellen Moore. Dome team. Atlanta's in a dome. Carolina, Tampa Bay, good weather. Shadur Sanders, I think, would be ideal. It would be a perfect fit going to New Orleans and be able to get that going. When the head coach comes in, he wants to handpick his quarterback.
I'm good with drafting a quarterback. And I think some of the pushback that I've had from Saints fans about the possibility of Shadur, and by the way, I want to be really clear here. I'm not pounding the table saying this guy is going to change your organization. You got to take him at 9. I'm not pounding the table insisting that. But if they go through their scouting and their evaluation and they do love him and he's there at 9 and you take him, I'd be excited about that. I'm not sure I believe they're going to do it because the New Orleans Saints have been in existence since 1967 and they've used a first-round pick on a quarterback one time. You know that. We've been through it. It's one of those things like when people say, well, maybe they'll trade back. Mickey Loomis has been the GM for a quarter century. You know how many times he's traded back? Never! Why do you think he's going to start now? It's not in his DNA. It just ain't what he does. Oh, he'll package picks and move up, but he ain't moving back. So it's like until you see it, will you really believe it? I'll believe it when I see it sort of thing. But here's the thing about Sanders or any quarterback. Yes, of course there is risk at that position. For me, it's all about managing risk. It's why I keep saying, comparing the late round picks at quarterback to the nickel slots. You have low risk and a potential high reward if you hit, like Dak in round 4, or Cousins in round 5, or Brady in round 6, or Purdy in round 7, Russ in round 3, which is a little bit more of a risk with round 3, but still. Point being, I can tolerate, if you want to take Quinn Ewers as an late day 2, early day 3, sure, I'm pumped about that. Jackson Dart at 9, I'm not so excited. Want to take the best player on the board at 9 and then Dart at 40? Great, I'm good with that. So I'm not insisting they got to take Shadur because he's a transcendent player. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm good taking him at 9 and taking that risk on a first-round quarterback because one thing you know about the NFL is you're not winning at an elite level without an elite quarterback. And the Saints have had an elite quarterback once in their history. And there's a direct correlation to their unwillingness to draft a quarterback and their inability to have an elite quarterback. So if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you at least give yourself an opportunity. And yes, of course, there's a massive risk. Let's do this. I went back and I wrote down every first-round pick at quarterback in the last 15 drafts. So going all the way back to 2010. This is every quarterback that's gone in round 1. Let's see if we can get consensus here in the room. We're just going to say, is this a hit or a bust, okay? Probably early to tell on last year, but Caleb Williams, probably early to tell.
Too early.
Jaden, clearly. I mean, we'd say hit, but at the same time, RG3 was a rookie of the year. Yep. And then, so let's just say this class is TBD.
Inconclusive.
Okay? All right.
Yeah.
But I think we can start with 2023 and we can start making answers. Like Bryce Young,
miss.
That's a miss. CJ Stroud,
hit.
That's a hit. Anthony Richardson,
miss.
That's a miss. Okay. 22 was Kenny Pickett.
Miss.
That's a miss. Trevor Lawrence, he's gotten a second contract. He's gotten
That's
you
a
to an
hit.
AFC Championship
That's a
game.
hit.
He's a good starting quarterback. Zach Wilson, you'll understand how it goes. Miss.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is a miss. Fields is a miss.
Miss.
Mac Jones is a miss. Okay. 2020 was Burrow, which is a hit. Tua, I think we'd all agree, is a hit. He's a good starting. He's had concussion issues, but that's not that he can't play. Herbert is a hit. Jordan Love is a hit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 2019, Kyler Murray.
Hit.
He's a starting quarterback in the NFL. He got to the second contract. Daniel Jones.
Miss.
Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, miss.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Hit.
I don't know that I can say he's a hit.
Not with the team that drafted
With the team that drafted him.
Okay, not with the team that drafted him.
He's a starter now in
fair.
the NFL, but he wasn't in Cleveland. That's got to be a miss for Cleveland. Sam Darnold. I mean, let's just put like a question mark by Baker then.
For the team that drafted him, I would agree miss.
Okay, then miss. Sam Darnold, miss. Josh Allen's a hit.
Yes.
Josh Rosen.
That's a miss.
He's free!
He's free.
Lamar Jackson, I think that's worked out pretty well. Okay. Mitchell Trubisky was the first quarterback taken in 2017.
Miss.
Right. Patrick Mahomes.
That's a hit. Yeah, it worked
And
out.
I would say Deshaun Watson is a hit as well because he was on the trajectory to be great. It's off the field stuff that's led him astray, not his play. And then injuries in Cleveland.
And for the team that drafted him as well.
Jared Goff.
I'd say a hit.
Okay, I'm with it.
I would say a hit.
He got the Rams to a Super Bowl. He got the Rams to a Super Bowl.
Like he's
okay.
a hit.
Carson Wentz.
Miss.
Paxton Lynch. Miss. Jameis. Miss. Mariota.
Miss.
Bortles.
Miss.
Manziel.
Miss.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Miss.
EJ Manuel.
Miss.
Andrew Luck. Hit.
Yeah, hit.
RG3.
Miss.
Ryan Tannehill. Do we give him a... He became a starter for Tennessee.
Yeah. Got him to an AFC championship, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
say a hit.
Oh, wait. Was he drafted by Tennessee or Miami?
Miami.
He was drafted by Miami, then went to Tennessee.
Then miss for the team that drafted him, but he ended up being okay.
Yeah. Cam was a hit.
Yeah.
Jake Locker.
That's a miss.
Blaine Gabbert.
That's a miss.
Christian Ponder.
Good Lord, that's a miss.
Right? Sam Bradford was a hit.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's a miss. That's every first-round quarterback dating back to 2010. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 47 quarterbacks have gone in the first round in the last 15 drafts. We're not counting last year's 6, so we're counting 41. Okay, of the 41 quarterbacks that have gone in the first round in the last 15 drafts, we're counting Stroud, Lawrence, Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love, Kyler, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Goff, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Sam Bradford. 15. What's that math? What's 15 divided by 41?
15.
Hey, Siri, what's 15 divided by 41? Siri didn't pay attention to me.
36. 36%.
You got about a 1 out of 3 shot. Or you got about a 1 out of 3 shot. Fair?
Yep.
It's about a 1/3 shot that you hit. Takes a Shadur at 9, probably about a 66% chance you're going to miss, given these numbers. About a 1/3 shot is going to hit. Now, we could probably pare that down more to like, what about guys that went 1 overall or top 5 as opposed to someone like Pickett or Tebow that were later, top 10 guys. I'm sure you can have a higher hit rate, but there's plenty of Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Sam Darnold and Mitchell Trubisky and Carson Wentz. There's plenty of those. Mario, there's plenty of those guys out there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a giant risk. But if you go up to the plate and you don't swing the bat, you have no chance of getting a hit. You've got to be willing to not go up there just trying to walk. You got to be willing to swing the bat. So damn it, swing the bat. You've done it once in your franchise's history. Don't be afraid of the miss. Embrace the possibility of the hit. What if you land C.J. Stroud? What if you do land Jaden Daniels? What if you do land Trevor Lawrence or Tua or Joe Burrow or Andrew Luck or Lamar Jackson? Yeah, it's worth the cut. What's the worst thing that could happen? You go 5-12 like you did with Derek Carr? Take your shot. Quit living scared. It's why you've sucked for 60 years. Shay Dixon next, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Preseason AC tune-up, y'all. Don't let the fact that it was 40 degrees last night distract you from the fact that we are still in the middle of spring, and last week it was nearly 90 degrees. Okay? Triple-digit temps are here. They're right around the bend, and your AC is going to go through it, man. Louisiana summers ain't nothing to joke with, and you know that. So make sure your AC is ready to roll through the warm weather months. You want to make sure that a little issue doesn't become a very big, very expensive issue. River City's 1 Hour Air preseason AC tune-up and rejuvenation. You want to make sure that your AC lasts for years. River City's 1 Hour Air. Do this standard preventative maintenance. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You work hard every day to pursue a life you love. You put in the time, and it shows. You're forging ahead, chasing a dream, creating something better for the ones you love. You're building your own life. So why not build your own tractor? With John Deere tractors and attachments for almost any need, the Sunshine team can help you do just that. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's the only one who really understands what gets me.
Bling, bling, bling. Big shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com, excuse me. Right now, 0% for 48 months on construction or landscaping equipment. So great for construction landscaping business if you need that construction, compact construction equipment. Got a great selection and 0% for 48 months right now at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Shea Dixon joins us as he does every Tuesday. Good enough, though, to be flexible with time as we had Ronald Dupree, new basketball GM in hour number 1. Shady, how are you, man?
I was just kind of debating in my mind. I didn't really think about why I was getting bumped. And as you said that, I awaited who was going to be the person who bumped me. I'm good. I'm good.
It's okay that it was that we bumped you for Ronald?
No doubt. I don't know who you could have said that I would have been like, oh, man, what? But
yeah.
That'll work. I'll get bumped by a legend. No doubt.
Dude, a dude from Biloxi, right?
The South Mississippi boys have to stand together, and then to LSU, and then stay around LSU. That's what we do.
I love it, man. Let's just bring that good Mississippi flavor over here. Bring your Mississippi mud pie with you. I love it. Okay, hey, On3 has updated the team rankings, the player rankings as well. The 5 stars are out there. Tristan Keys, 5-star, number 3 overall player. What stands out about these updated rankings to you?
Yeah, overall, LSU still has the number 1 class. Now, USC's been on the heater. It's crazy. LSU, 9 commits. Ohio State, 10 commits. Oregon, 8 commits. A&M, 10. Bama, 4. So they're on the lower end, but LSU's been in that spot before where you're kind of lurking in the weeds and then you start to go on a run. USC sits right behind LSU, Southern Cal. They have 21 commits. But how we do our rankings is sort of a rolling average of everyone's class. So it factors in your highest 6 ranked guys right now. So LSU is still sitting with the number 1 class. And obviously, as you mentioned, Tristan Keys, a guy out of South Mississippi coming from Hattiesburg, who is the number 1 player on On3. He's the number 1 player on the On3 industry rankings. And his commitment didn't come out of nowhere. LSU had certainly been right there among his top teams the whole way since he kind of emerged as a prospect coming out of Hattiesburg High and picking up SEC offers. But again, we've talked about it on your show, and the fact that Baton Rouge is closer than thriving-wise than any school that's recruited him. He's got ties to the staff with Donovan Tate, a guy who went to Hattiesburg High, and then just being interested in LSU from the start. And look, what Jamar Chase and those guys are doing doesn't hurt. I don't think this is why he committed, but I found it not quite ironic that the day after Jamar Chase landed that record deal was the day that Tristan Keys said, I'm committed to LSU and I'm ready to roll. So, yeah, they're getting a good one there. And from then, God, it just pours into kind of the wealth of in-state talent that they've already stacked up. And then you can kind of narrow your focus from there to the remaining guys. And these guys are all going to be seniors in the fall. So not too far off from time flying by. The season goes by and it's signing day again.
What is the latest, speaking of the in-state guys, on someone like Lamar Brown and what the new rankings say about him?
Yeah, Lamar Brown is also kind of juggled playing offensive line or defensive line, leaning towards D-line right now. And Richard Anderson is the number 1 D-lineman in the country. He's committed to LSU coming out of Carr. But when you look at these Louisiana rankings, Lamar Brown checks in at number 1 overall in the industry rankings. Still ranked as an interior lineman. I think even if you ranked him as a D lineman, you're sitting in that same range of being a top 20 overall player, regardless of which position it might be. And he's a vet. Look, he goes to U-High. The collective recruiting followers have ridden this ride before of U-High kids that have either stayed or gone out of state after spending time their high school career or more on LSU's campus. And if there is a threat here, it would be A&M, in my opinion, and he's got offers from everybody from coast to coast. But I think he's going to stay somewhat close to home here. I would say the Aggies are the other team that are kind of really pushing LSU. But come signing day, and honestly, I might be wrong. I feel the same way about a certain, as I went to Hattiesburg High, a certain current prospect at a player that you went to high school at, that by signing day, I still think LSU has a good shot to keep a guy like Lamar Brown in state.
Let me ask you, well, I'll come to Bradford in a second, but let me ask a follow-up on Lamar Brown there, Shay, because you mentioned that he's trending toward wanting to play defensive line. Forgive me, I've just always assumed that he would land as one of the top offensive linemen, obviously in the country. That's where he would land. How is he being recruited? Can you walk us through that process there and how teams are recruiting him and why he might be leaning defense instead of offense?
I think it's really going to be his personal preference, and I'm not even sure how much it is that looking exactly at a room and saying, okay, I could come in and start immediately, bang, at this position, and that's why I'm choosing this side of the ball. Just recently, and he's going to go back and forth on it, and colleges are recruiting him as you're a 5-star top 20 prospect who, tests as well as anybody in the country on either side of the line, at his size. So you can play O-line, you can play D-line, whichever one it might be. When we caught up with him, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago after an LSU, not junior day, maybe just practice, but he was one of the guys hanging out there. And he talked about meeting with Kyle Williams for the first time and kind of them sitting down and going over what his D-line room is like. And he said Kevin Peoples has taken on a bigger role since he started to say, hey, look, I may lean towards D-line in college. So it's all hands on deck, no doubt. But for one that I always thought might end up going O-line, it seems that, at least for the moment, Lamar is kind of talking to a lot of the defensive coaches on the different staffs.
He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Always appreciate a couple minutes here with Shea. Okay, so you mentioned Blaine Bradford, who, of course, surprised a lot of people last week whenever he picked Ohio State. We talked about it, not just necessarily that he picked Ohio State, Shea. The timing of it was a bit odd. But you think that LSU still has a chance by signing day? Walk us through what you're thinking there with Bradford.
I don't think that I would change my thought of why I think LSU has an advantage anymore now than where it was before he committed to Ohio State. I thought that, hey, look, if he does end up going out of state and wanting to get away, that Ohio State was a team to beat. But then again, LSU is a school right here, in his hometown. Gives your parents a chance to watch it, family. Obviously, his brother is joining the team now, so that was a year ahead of him at Catholic, and Jacob Bradford, he'll be a safety, so they'd be in the same room. But I think more importantly for me in terms of LSU's pushes, they've prioritized him since 9th grade. I mean, did he get an offer like after his first varsity football game, maybe?
Sounds about right.
From LSU. Yeah, and that was his first offer. So, in fact, I went back and found it. And he had tagged Kerry Cooks in it. So that's like many coaching staffs ago, right? So that's how long they've been on Blaine Bradford. And Ohio State, a team that offered him this past summer. Now, it doesn't come back down to timing and all that. Sometimes it can work against you in Louisiana if it's on the flip side. But he's in the rare, the 1%, right, of kids who get an offer that early and then are just, they never let up on them. So, look, I think that if LSU had a kid from Columbus right now that's a 5-star committed that was like, hey, we might keep him, we might not, you would understand why, because obviously him being a Baton Rouge kid, I think makes Ohio State fans a little bit nervous. So we'll see. But look, right now he's committed to the Buckeyes. It's a huge gift for them, and they've been on a run at safety, but a lot of time till signing day.
Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Wanted to also ask you about Hayward Howard Jr. out of Edna Carr, who finally got his offer from LSU, tweeted about that. What can you tell us there?
I mean, Carr, I guess, goes to these state title games for a reason, right? We were just talking about the number 1 D lineman in the country is committed to LSU out of Carr, and Richard Anderson. And as I said, these are guys who are going to be seniors. And then you don't have to scroll very far down the list to find the other Edna Carr stud, a top 5 safety in Aiden Hall, who's been committed to LSU. He shut down his recruitment and isn't even entertaining other teams. And he's a guy that's already north of 6 foot, pushing 180, a lot like a Blaine Bradford, build-wise. That was kind of the thought that you would land those 2 in-state guys by signing day. And they've got Hall in, and now here comes offer number 3 to Hayward Howard, a third guy on that defense. So now that I'm thinking about it, Matt, if I'm offenses and Carr's on my schedule, I'm not feeling great right now that, everybody on their defense is picking up LSU offers and SEC offers. But they had not offered an in-state kid beyond Desirian Ellis at corner. And we know that Corey Raymond will be, I guess you can say picky or whatever it might be, but they're not just handing out offers left and right in Louisiana, and certainly not at a position like that. And Desiree Ellis, who is coming out of the Winfield area, playing at Franklin Parish, he plays quarterback. He was an all-state guy, but he's a freak athlete. Corey offered him as a corner. And now you've got Hayward Howard, who becomes the second corner offer in this class in Louisiana. And I always feel good about those guys. So maybe this is a name to start to remember and file away for LSU fans, because when Corey Raymond offers in-state and you've got a guy like Frank recruiting Ed Nakar and others, it's usually a pretty a natural kind of pull that they'll end up at LSU, not to mention that two of his teammates are already committed to LSU in the same cycle.
Ed Nakar has been very, very good to LSU. Shea Dixon, always good to us with his time. Shea, anything else, any other prospects we miss that we need to talk about or highlight right now?
You know, they had gone on spring break, so there weren't many visitors coming through. But I think we're about to hit a stretch where they get a number of guys on campus. Through this weekend's kind of non-spring game and whatever they have going on after that, because in about a month, a little bit more than a month, official visits start. And that's when guys will really start to commit. And but no, I don't think we missed anything too big. Still the number one class, inch closer to getting commits. And really, I think they've let basketball take the wheel here for the past week after being on spring break, because they have dominated the headlines for sure.
The non-spring game. Well done.
Well, is it the spring practice that
I don't
people get to go to?
The spring scrimmage, the thing where, whatever we're going to call
Did
it.
you bleep out all 5 words that she thinks my tractor's sexy at the start of this segment? I was probably tied up thinking about that half the time.
I didn't bleep it. I just was mumbling because I don't know the words. I was going, sleep, beep, blue, beep, boo. That's all I was doing.
Well, it's just the title. It's the title song.
Well, no, but the part before that.
Oh, okay.
That part.
Musso roll back the tape.
Sexy. That part, I think. Well, I'll do. Hey, Shay, stay tuned, because right after the break, I'm gonna do it again. So just 2 minutes, we'll do it right back over again. We appreciate it as always. Thanks, dude.
Bye, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Always appreciate Shay. Good stuff, man. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, thrill her with a gift in the red box. I tell you that every single day. Easter's around the bend. It's the springtime when a lot of guys are thinking about popping the question as the weather gets nicer. You do these outdoor proposals in these gorgeous locales. If you're thinking about popping the question, remember at Lee Michaels, they've got loose diamonds. They've got gorgeous stones. Of course, they've got amazing selection. And if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. They accept exchanges as well, returns. So maybe if she doesn't love what you pick out, that's okay. They'll take it back. They want her to be thrilled. It's a giant part of what's made Lee Michaels successful for nearly 4 decades. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, appreciate Shay. As we mentioned, Ronald Dupree, new LSU basketball GM, was here last hour. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. That's all there. Podcast, YouTube. Just search AFR LSU if you want our LSU content. AFR Saints if you want our Saints content. Or you want the full show, just search After Further Review. All right, Mike Triplett in about 45 minutes. Jared Mitchell 1 hour from right now. When we come back, we've talked plenty about Shadur Sanders, but the Saints actually worked out another quarterback. And they're going to trigger me with this. It's AFR.
AFR.
I was visiting with Gabe today over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. PA does an awesome job, man. And I'm so thrilled at the number of you who have taken my advice. You've gone to Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You've done the blood draw. You let them run your labs to see if you're a candidate for HRT. Of course, you want to restore your vitality, feel younger, have more motivation when you get up in the morning, motivation to get into the gym. You actually see results. You'll burn fat and build muscle. You want to have better libido. All of that stuff is a product of HRT and get back to healthy hormone levels like when you were younger. Testosterone is part of it, but there's other peptide therapy like Somorelin, which can stimulate growth hormone. We're not talking about like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire. We're talking about natural, healthy levels of growth hormone that help you recover and feel better and feel stronger, all those types of things. So BPC 157 that helps aid in recovery. So many options to help you be your best self. Learn more, yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Little farm and a yard full of kids, and one more teeny weeny ride before I take her home. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Hey, congrats to former LSU and Woodlawn quarterback Ricky Collins. He's been named the starting quarterback at Syracuse. Of course, Ricky entered the transfer portal after this season, landed at Syracuse. Fran Brown, the head coach at Syracuse, on Monday announced that Ricky Collins will be his starting quarterback. Didn't waste any time on that. Here was Fran Brown when he met with reporters on Monday.
The coaching staff knew it first, kind of let it simmer in for a weekend, and then moved along with it. We just felt as though if it was even, that he had to get it because he hadn't got an opportunity of knowing everything. So for him just learning everything and it being even, give him an opportunity of just constantly getting better. And seemed to be moving into the leader of our football team. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Players are behind him, everybody's behind him, so it seems like he's going to be our quarterback.
Ricky was a 4-star coming out of Woodlawn, signed with the hometown LSU Tigers, sat behind Jaden and then Garrett. Of course, LSU brought in Michael Van Buren in this portal cycle. But Ricky Collins is a guy that only attempted 7 passes in his 2 years at LSU. So not a lot of experience on the field, but a guy that's very capable. And interestingly enough, he's going to be replacing Kyle McCord. Remember, McCord was at Ohio State, transferred to Syracuse, and led college football in passing last year with nearly 4,800 yards and 34 touchdowns. So Ricky's walking into an offense that is tailor-made for someone to sling it around and put up big numbers. And we know Collins has the arm talent, has the ability. Certainly great athleticism. I mean, if you watch high school football in this area, you no doubt saw Ricky Collins play at Woodlawn. He was awesome. I mean, I watched him play a game against the Catholic team. It was loaded with D1 talent. He single-handedly beat him. I mean, that's a really it's not just a guy that got an offer because he was a local guy. He got an offer from LSU because he's a 4-star quarterback. He's a really good player. He just had to sit and wait his turn, and ultimately in the portal era decided to find another path. So wish him good luck, and congrats to Ricky Collins, who's been named the starter there at Syracuse. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Hey, reminder, Parrish Construction and Roofing, y'all, we're giving away $10,000. You heard that right. We're giving away $10,000 at Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. You'll see it pop up right on the homepage. The little pop-up will be right there on the homepage. It'll give you all the deets of how you can win. Go to parrishbuilt.com. All you got to do is sign up for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. There's no purchase necessary, nothing like that. All you got to do is sign up, take you 30 seconds, sign up for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, and you're entered to win. We'll draw coming up at the end of this month. Good luck from Parrish Construction and Roofing. Commercial, residential, repairs, replacements. We have a gutter division. We'll do gutters, soft wash. We do all of it. ParrishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com. Jordan Schultz of Fox reported that the New Orleans Saints held a private workout with Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe. And y'all know, because I've been very transparent about this, I am good taking a quarterback anywhere in this draft where the Saints may elect to do it. If they want to take Shadur Sanders at 9, I'm good with that. If the Saints stay at 40 and Jackson Dart's there, they want to take Dart at 40, I'm good with that. If at the end of round 3, beginning of round 4, they decide they're going to jot down Quinn Ewer's name on the card, hand it to the commissioner to read, I'm good with that. My whole philosophy has been the whole nickel slot philosophy, right? I mean, you got to keep feeding. It's low risk, potential high reward. You got to keep feeding it. So, yeah, I know you took Spencer Rattler last year, but if you kick a fifth-round pick out after a year, or Hainer, a fourth-round pick from the year before you kick him out after, okay. Not much loss, nothing really gained. You're on to the next. You're trying to hit. You're trying to hit the jackpot, okay? You're not looking for a backup, someone who can make your practice what you're trying to hit. You're looking for Dak in round 4. You're looking for Cousins in round 5. That's what you're looking for, your jackpot. And if you miss, no biggie. So you blew a 5th-round pick. Saints blow picks all the time. They trade up picks, and they waste draft capital. They do it all the time. So at the most important position, yes, I'm good with doing it. But the value has to make sense. You don't take a quarterback just to take a quarterback, is the point that I'm making. You have to have a requisite value. And the only spot in this draft where I think there would be value in taking a player like Jalen Milroe would be late in day 3. Like if you're sitting on a 7th-round pick in the 250s and you're like, what the hell, we took Tommy Stevens with a 7th-rounder. Let's take a shot on Jalen Milroe. Like that would be my only approach where I think it would be appropriate to take Jalen Milroe in this draft. And I know some of y'all are going to say, you just don't want him because he's an Alabama guy. Baloney. I don't give a crap where you went to school. I love cheering for Roman Harper in the black and gold. Mark Ingram scoring touchdowns. Now, I hated that draft pick when they made it, but I didn't think they should have traded back in round 1, neither here nor there. But I didn't hate Mark Ingram, who's Saints' all-time leading scorer at the time and rusher at the time he left. They drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry last year, and I celebrated it. Oh, yeah. So it had nothing to do with him being from Alabama. It's got everything to do with the fact that he is a great athlete. He is not a great quarterback. He is a great arm talent. He is not a great passer of the football. I went and looked up Jalen Milroe's PFF under pressure numbers from this football season. How about this? His offensive grade, overall offensive grade, when he's got a clean pocket, is a 90.2. That's elite. That's incredible. When he's pressured, 55.1. How about just his passer grade? When it's clean, 88.7. Awesome. When he's pressured, 51.6. How about his fumble rate? When it's clean, 75.7. When he's pressured, he rates out at 28.1. Awful. Jalen Milroe, great athlete, great arm, very mid quarterback, very mid passer of the football. He is the guy. This became so crystal clear to me watching them in the Rose Bowl against that Michigan team that effectively had an NFL defense that won the national championship 2 seasons ago. And against that Michigan team, Jalen Milroe was absolutely put on a leash. 16 of 23, for $116, no touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked 6 times. He ran 21 times for 63 yards, averaging 3 yards per carry against an NFL defense. He did nothing. When he finally had equal talent opposite him to match what he had offensively, he melted. And that's what he is as a quarterback. He lost 4 big games this year against legitimate opponents. Lost to Vanderbilt. Like, he is a product. His success in college is a product of having better talent than everyone else. And when he was pressured, he wilted. That is Jalen Milroe. Great athlete. There might be a role for him somewhere. People keep saying, oh, the Taysom Hill role. You don't use a first, second, third round pick on someone to be a gadget player. By the way, how many Taysom Hills are there around the NFL? Last I checked, there's one. One. You don't go draft that guy because those guys don't really exist. He's a unicorn. And I don't think Jalen Milroe has eyes on coming into the NFL to be a gadget player. And you're sure as hell not using a first, second, third round pick on a gadget player, especially a quarterback. If you're trying to draft a quarterback, you're trying to draft somebody who can be your franchise, and that guy ain't it. I'll stake everything I've ever said about football on that. Jalen Milroe is never going to be a capable or quality starting quarterback in the NFL. He's incapable. Throw jump balls to Ryan Williams. You got freak shows doing pirouettes on the sideline, bailing you out all the time. You got a clean pocket. You got 3-4 NFL receivers running against DBs that can't keep up, and so you throw the ball to open dudes in a clean pocket. Yeah, not too tough to play quarterback in that. Pressure him. I just read the numbers. His overall offensive grade, clean pocket, 90.2. When he's pressured, 55.1. As a passer, when it's clean, 88.7. When he's pressured, 51.6. He's not a good quarterback. He is a great athlete. He's a great runner. He could throw the ball a mile. He is not a good quarterback. He is not a good passer of the football. And if the New Orleans Saints draft Jalen Milroe, I am out. Oh, I'll still talk about him because I have to for my job. But my emotional investment in the New Orleans Saints as my team will go to 0. My give a damn about this football team will go to 0 if they try to hitch their wagon to Jalen Milroe. That would be a disaster. As much of a disaster as this organization has already shown to be with their inability to manage the salary cap, with pissing away basically the last 5 drafts, with giving bad contracts to old players, with continuing to retain Gumsmack and Mickey despite all of the failures in a league where everybody gets fired. The Saints are a place where nobody gets fired. That will be the ton of bricks that breaks the camel's back. Draft Jalen Milroe. I'm out if they draft Milroe. All the way out. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon's got offices all over the state. I was looking at social media, and I tell you can always follow Gordon on all the social medias. It's at Get Gordon. And they were having an attorneys retreat for all the attorneys there that work with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And one of the things that was just so striking as I looked at it is the vast number of attorneys. And you just remember, like, they're all over the state of Louisiana, which is so cool because no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, Gordon's got an office near you, so you don't have to travel, and you have great elite level attorneys that are there to handle your case with the utmost care. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You can go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. By the way, high school seniors, the free MacBook giveaway is going on right now. Learn more. Get Gordon and get it done.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, powered by Sunshine, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
We'll start in the minor leagues here. A couple of former Tigers making their season debut. We'll start with Blake Money. He's with the Aberdeen Ironbirds, high A affiliate of the Orioles. Came in relief, pitched 4 innings, 2 hits, just gave up a run, struck out 4, got the win. Really solid debut for Blake Money. We'll see if that leads to a great season for him. Nate Ackenhausen.
I think we need Here Comes the Money for him.
Okay.
The Shane McMahon intro.
Okay. Until we get that, we'll just give him a little ka-ching.
Okay. Like it.
Nate Ackenhausen also made his season debut. He's also in high A with the River Bandits.
Oh.
Blew the save, but got the win.
Oh.
2 innings, 3 runs. Only one of those was earned. Punched out a couple. So didn't get the save, but got the win.
Take that, starter.
There you go. I mean, just snatch the win from the guy. The
Win
Pittsburgh
vulture, Nate Ackenhausen.
The Pittsburgh Pirates face the St. Louis Cardinals at 5:40 today. Former Tiger, current GQ model, Paul Skeens will be on the mound to start the game for Pittsburgh. Be his 3rd start. He's looking for win number 2. Sub 1.5 ERA. He's already punched out 13 in 12 innings. And he's just doing really, really well. We'll have you a full update of that game tomorrow. Alex Bregman was 1 for 4 a night ago. He's up to 344. It was a single. Dylan Cruz was robbed of an RBI single by the official scorer. This was horrible. Cruz singled sharply under the glove of Mookie Betts. It went to left field. A run scored, and somehow it was ruled a fielder's choice. Don't understand. Should have been 1 for 3. Instead, he was 0 for 3. Needs to pick it up a little bit. 0.94 so far on the young year. That's Tigers in the pros.
Sent by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. I love when I get pictures from y'all. Evamore in the wild. Whenever you all are at a grocery store, maybe you're out and about at a ball game, at a parade, wherever you may be, and you got your Evermore in your ice chest, you're drinking it, or you just spot it somewhere. Shoot me a tweet, shoot me a text on the text line, Facebook, Instagram. Love it when you all share your Evermore in the wild. EVAMOR. It's a natural artesian water. It's a better form of hydration. It's healthier for you and your family, and it is a Louisiana product from a natural artesian well in the North Shore of Louisiana in Covington. The bottling facility is built around the well. Evamore.com, EVAMOR, Evamore.com. All right, y'all, Tiger baseball on the road in Thibodaux tonight. We'll give you a preview of that as we continue. Hour 3 next.
After further review.
As we put a button here on hour number 2, I love telling you about South Point Volkswagen, y'all. And, I have become really bullish over the last, decade plus about the Volkswagen line. This is what we drive. It's not just, someone that I endorse. They don't just hand me copy points to read. When I leave out of here today, I'm going to go get in my Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. I'm going to drive it over to Miracle League and watch Drew's game tonight. And, Erica will be there in her Atlas. And she has the third row. She wanted that extra space, moving a lot of Drew's stuff and things like that. We wanted to have one bigger vehicle, and I didn't need the third row, so I traded in my Atlas and got a Cross Sport, which takes out the third row, a little sleeker design, but still you get the great German engineering, the great gas mileage, the great performance, all the safety features, and, of course, the affordability as well. If you want to search the dealer specials, they're all there at the website at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. With 3 games remaining in their regular season, the Nuggets have fired coach Michael Malone. Denver also will not extend the contract of GM Calvin Booth. Malone, the winningest coach in franchise history, led the Nuggets to their only NBA title in 2023. Denver's lost 4 straight, is one of 6 teams who can finish anywhere from 3rd to 8th in the Western Conference. ESPN NBA reporter Ramona Shelburne.
I'm surprised that they did it, and yet now in the NBA, nothing is surprising anymore, right? And I think some of this is reflective of the tension that a lot of these teams in the West that are really good, and they all think they can win, and they all have the ability to win, but they're bunched so tightly together between 3 and 8 right now, are feeling. And the Nuggets are heading in the wrong direction, clearly.
Ramona Shelburne on Freddie and Harry. Lead assistant David Adelman is Denver's interim coach. Texas freshman Trey Johnson declared for the upcoming NBA draft, projected to be picked 5th overall. Former Major League pitcher Octavio Dotel among those who died after a roof on a nightclub in the Dominican Republic collapsed early this morning. He was 51 years old.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yuso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Mike Triplett here in about a dozen minutes from right now. You've heard me drone on and on and on and on about the quarterback possibilities for the New Orleans Saints in the draft, which is just a few weeks away. We'll get Mike's thoughts, especially with it seeming like it's trending more and more to where the Saints not only picking a quarterback, but picking a quarterback high in this draft. We'll get Mike's thoughts on what's out there. Jared Mitchell, former Tiger great, works with us now at Guarantee Media, based out of Houston, doing so working for Guarantee Digital Media, doing a lot of business development there. So if you're in the Houston area, you want to reach out to Jay Mitch, that'd be really cool. But Jared, come join us, talk some baseball here in about 30 minutes from right now. By the way, speaking of which, Tigers are on the road tonight in Thibodaux. 6:30 first pitch against Nicholls. Oddly, remember, this was the game that was supposed to be played early in the season. It was going to be like in the 30s and raining, and so they decided, let's not play that game in 30-degree temps and rain. Let's just move it back to April when it's going to be, really nice. It'll be a really nice April night. Now it's going to be like in the 40s tonight. So it probably won't be as nice of a night as we normally would have, but nicer than it would have been back in February, and this game was supposed to be played. We'll wait for the starting lineup to be posted when it is. We'll run through it. Just a couple things that are very obvious worth keeping an eye on. The pitching is first and foremost, because as great as it is that you go through a weekend and you sweep Oklahoma and you only need 5 pitchers, the downside is nobody else got work. And if you're trying to develop other arms you can count on, well, they got to go get mound time and live ABs and get work. And this is an opportunity where you're probably going to see LSU's pitchers wearing out a path from the bullpen to the mound, and also Jay Johnson wearing out a path from the dugout to the pitching mound. There's be like an L shape from the outfield to the mound to the dugout, just this L shape. Like a guy worth mentioning is Jaden Newt. So Newt had pitched really well consecutively in midweek games, and so he got the opportunity against Mississippi State in that finale, the game that went, into the wee hours, and got the final 6 outs of that game on Saturday night, Sunday morning. Well, he was getting loose last week against Louisiana Tech, but didn't come into the game, and then didn't pitch this weekend. So Jaden Newt hasn't thrown since the finale, the Saturday into Sunday morning against Mississippi State. I mean, you got to go get that guy some mound time. I mean, it's been over a week since he's pitched to a live hitter. I would assume I'm waiting for a text to see if we can get this answer on who's going to start tonight. They haven't posted the lineup, and I'm waiting on an answer. My guess is they're going to start William Schmidt again, and why not? If he's most comfortable in a starting role where he knows he's getting the ball that day, he can go through his pregame warm-up, knows what the expectation is going to be for him. That makes him more comfortable so he can go deliver more comfortably. Great. You need him to have success, build confidence, become more comfortable with his command and his stuff, throw into college hitters, because you're going to need that guy to continue to develop as the season goes along. The number everybody kind of talks about, I think, Will Helmers was here with us last week, and he said it, Jay really wants 8 guys that he can count on. Well, you got 5. You got 5 you feel really good about. You just saw him last weekend combined to sweep Oklahoma. So who else are guys that you feel really good you can count on? Well, you can see the ones that are kind of maybe developing. With Newt, with Schmidt, with Connor Ware. Like, those would be the guys that would make the most sense. And yes, Benj is going to have a role. And Maverick Rizzi and Cooper Williams. Like, those guys are going to have a role. You're going to have your up 10, down 10 guys, but, maybe Cooper Williams becomes a situational lefty, or same thing for Maverick Rizzi. Or if you got to get a strikeout, look, Rizzi, because of his frame, it could certainly be, one of those guys for you. But you got to develop trust in arms that you can go to. Jacob Myers is a guy that, God, if he could ever just figure out how to consistently throw strikes. For a dude with his frame and his release point, which is an over-the-top fastball, like nobody has that release point, so the angle looks different. It's coming at you at 96. That's why it looks so explosive. It's so dominant. But when he misses up, and he walks too many guys. But if he can command it, you could start to trust him. And this is one of those types of situations where you can probably run the risk of putting him out there and against his former team and getting him some mound time and seeing if he can develop some consistency. So it's really just about getting those guys work and to see who might continue to develop consistently. It's all about throwing strikes, man. The arm talent with all these guys is good enough. If you can just throw it over the plate, you'll be fine. Jay Johnson on his radio show Monday night did talk about this trip to Nicholls, to Thibodeau to take on Nicholls.
I'm excited about the pitchers we have available, key contributing guys that obviously we need to get out there in the context of winning the game. It'll be a good challenge. When we've gone and played at, some of these in-state mid-majors, a lot of them have been in the NCAA tournament, the last couple years, like Nicholls has. It's a big deal for their program. For us, it's a good opportunity to, get on the road, do something a little bit different, another challenge. This team's been good at handling challenges, but, RPI benefit of getting a road game. It's the only Tuesday road game that we have, this season. So there's a lot of value to it.
He had me until he started selling me on the RPI benefit of a road game at Nicholls. Then again, the non-conference schedule has been teetotal trash, so maybe this is actually a step up in the non-conference. Just take care of your business in conference play. By the way, of course, Nicholls is coached by Brent Herring, who was on Jay Johnson's staff as director of ops. So he's now the first-year head coach at Nicholls. That's another tie there. So LSU going there to play at Nicholls will benefit Coach Herring and obviously the Nicholls program. And they'll get a good gate. It'll be a nice boost for that program, and I wish them well, just not on the scoreboard tonight. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Of course, our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine. And all the farmers that are buying tractors at Sunshine, buying farm equipment, combines, First South Farm Credit. They've been first in agriculture for 100 years. Every farmer that buys farmland knows about First South Farm Credit. But what you may not know is that First South Farm Credit is more than just agriculture. You want the 100 acres for your hunting property, the 20 acres to build your family's dream home. They can help with that. And by the way, they're able to sell in any of the lower 48. So it doesn't matter if you want property, if you're looking in Mississippi or Texas or Arkansas or Montana or Idaho. It doesn't matter where you're looking to buy land, First South Farm Credit can help. And you can do business with someone locally who lives where you live, who talks like you talk. It's First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. That's FirstSouthLand.com for First South Farm Credit. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways that you can get involved in the show. We will talk with Mike Triplett coming up here in the next segment about his thoughts on some of the quarterback possibilities. Tybris Hurts texted and said, I was waiting on the Milroe rant. It was worth it. And Caleb said, do you think Milroe gets drafted? Yes, of course I think Jalen Milroe is going to get drafted. I just watched enough of Jalen Milroe in his college career to know that he is an inaccurate thrower of football. I do not believe I think he's an amazing athlete. I think he's a great arm talent. And there's a lot of guys like that. Mitchell Trubisky was like that. Zach Wilson was like that. And you see sometimes teams get infatuated. Anthony Richardson most recently. Guys that are incredible athletes who the league gets enamored with the Pajama Olympics and the ability to run fast and jump high and throw far, and they forget about playing football. And then you have guys that just understand how to play the position. Like, that's why someone like Russell Wilson can come into the league as a third-round pick, win the starting job as a rookie, and get to a couple of Super Bowls and be a starting quarterback for a dozen years. I mean, we all know this intellectually, y'all. Like, we watch football. You know who is a good player. Who, like, it's harder to try to project someone like Josh Allen, who played at Wyoming, or Joe Flacco, who played at Delaware. I understand the struggle there. Trey Lance. Like, when you're talking about lower class, and that was the COVID year where the guy didn't even play for a year. I mean, that's a greater challenge because you're not seeing equitable competition. But man, like, some of this ain't hard to see. And it ain't hard. Like, the athleticism for Milroe is there. The ability to play quarterback ain't. Why do I love Shadur Sanders? Because he's smart with the football. He's accurate with the football. He's completed 74% of his passes. He's tough as hell. He's son of a coach. Been around the game his whole life. Check, 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 check. All those things make a ton of sense. None of that's there for Milroe. Anyway, let me ask Mike Triplett's thoughts. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking of building a pool or an outdoor kitchen, I want to remind you again about Duplessis Builders, but I really want to remind you as well about their showroom, because when you go into their showroom, you do the entire process in one visit. You'll pick out your tiling, your coping, your stone, your plaster. The goal is to get you to pick out everything for your pool. It's exciting. Like, instead of just having someone saying, here's your stuff, at Duplessis, they're going to guide you. They're going to hold your hand and show you your options, but they're not going to pick it out for you. They want it to be your experience. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Of course, they do outdoor kitchens as well. And listen, if you want to learn more about the whole process, you can go to the website, DuplessisBuilders.net. At the top, they have a tab that says, your book. It is their guide to building a pool and how it'll go so you can be an informed consumer. Learn more, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Sure, a lot of you are sick of hearing me drone on and on and on about the quarterbacks that are potentially on the Saints' radar in this draft class. Figured let's hear somebody else talk about it. Mike Triplett's as good as they come. He's good enough to join us every Thursday during the football season, and we get to call on him here today. Mike, great to visit, man. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Let me just start with a big picture question. Where do you land on the possibility of New Orleans taking a quarterback in this draft, given, of course, they have Derek Carr and they drafted a quarterback each of the last 2 years?
Yeah, I don't think any of those things would stop them from taking a quarterback this year in and of themselves. They are a franchise that is going nowhere until they find their next quarterback, their next long-term solution at quarterback. So whenever they get the chance to find that person, they drop everything else and get that person. I mean, I wouldn't even rule out trading up to number one for Cam Ward. The reasons that it's unlikely is it's so cost prohibitive that moving up from 9 to 1 is incredibly hard to do, especially when the team that has the number one pick needs a quarterback just as bad as you do. So I don't think that's going to happen. And I 9 and 40 aren't great value spots to take a quarterback. It means you have to like a quarterback there that nobody else likes. So the odds of the Saints being the one team that likes Shadur Sanders or the Saints being the one team that likes Jackson Dart, I don't know. That feels a little slim to me. If other teams don't like them, why? I don't think the Saints will be like, we got a third-round grade on this guy, but we're desperate, so we're going to take him. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the stars need to align. It needs to be Sean Payton loves Bo Nix or the Falcons loves Michael Penix. I don't currently have a read that they feel that way about either of those guys, but, this is the time of year where they try to make sure that people like me don't know what they're thinking.
That is the interesting part. Not like my next question was going to be, what is your read on the circumstantial evidence? Like Kellen Moore didn't go to Shadur's pro day, or they brought in Quinn Ewers for dinner, and they seem to be having a lot of conversations there. Like all of that. How do you sort of manipulate those pieces of the puzzle?
Yeah. We were having an internal text. Wait a minute. Does Kellen Moore not going to Colorado mean they really like him and they want to throw everyone off the scent? And I'm like, well, they're doing a horrible job of that if that's true, because everybody has reported the Saints are interested in Shadur Sanders this week, so that didn't work. I think it was probably more that Kellen Moore went on that one week trip where they got in a plane and they said, hey, we can knock off, 30 of the top 100 guys on our board in 1 week if we go to these 4 schools. But Kellen Moore does not go on every trip. He has not gone on every trip, obviously. I think we would probably overread into that situation if we were going to base it just on his attendance. But there is absolutely zero question that they are doing all their due diligence on quarterbacks in general, and that they are one of the most quarterback-needy teams, and they have a new head coach who's going to want to eventually draft his own quarterback. So they better be studying the hell out of these guys and taking it very seriously and going to dinner with as many of them as possible.
Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. How did the process work, Mike, when Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland were all in the draft room? And how do you think that might, if at all, change with Kellen Moore in the draft room? As far as autonomy to make a decision, right?
There were a couple Dennis Allen years in there, too. Yeah, I mean, Sean Payton had outsized power compared to probably Dennis Allen and Kellen Moore, but the theory behind the process was the same. It was, Jeff Ireland is responsible for putting these boards together, narrowing these boards down, putting grades on these, sending his guys out, double checking, triple checking on the guys that matter most. And then later in the process, once those boards have been built, Mickey Loomis sits in on the meetings, the coaches sit in on the meetings, they give their preferences, they meet the guys, they give their preferences, and they try to reach a consensus with Jeff Ireland, Mickey Loomis, and the head coach being the three people whose opinions matter the most. If they ever got down to damn it, this is my guy, damn it, this is my guy, I think in theory Mickey Loomis has always had final say. There's famous stories of Sean Payton going rogue in the draft room when they were definitely going to take Ryan Ramczyk that year, and he got Reuben Foster on the phone, and he was gonna jump their draft order and try to convince them to go Reuben Foster. But I mean, the whole idea is that they have these discussions before the clock is ticking on them, and they know who they like better. And if it comes down to this guy and this guy, they all agree it's going to be this guy. So, I would say Sean Payton probably had more power than Kellen Moore is going to have, but the idea is that it's three top people having similar power that will likely come to an agreement conclusion, and not some sort of a standoff at the last second.
Mike, what do you think of the possibility, like if they do write Shadur Sanders' name on the card at 9? What would you think of that?
There's nothing that would excite me more covering the Saints than them having a conviction in a quarterback that they could get with the 9th pick in the draft. Except for maybe them having conviction on a quarterback they can get with the 40th pick in the draft. If they love a guy and they can get him at 9, nothing would be more exciting to cover in OTAs, minicamp, week 1, year 2 than their guy. Like I said, I really hope they don't try to force themselves into taking a guy with a 3rd-round grade because they're like, it's the best we could do, let's try it. But if they're like, no, we love this guy. If they talk about Shadur Sanders like Sean Payton talks about Bo Nix, then that would be wonderful. I don't want them to force it. I don't want them to settle. I don't want them to be like, this is the best we can do, though. And my guess is the stars probably won't align. But if they do, that would be the most exciting thing we could witness.
What do you think will happen with Shadur then? I'm curious.
I really don't know. I mean, it is so tough to get a gauge. I mean, it only takes, as I always say, it only takes one team to like him. But, yeah, I mean, this could be one of those Aaron Rodgers situations. But then again, I would have said the same thing about Justin Fields, Mac Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and all those guys ended up going in the top 15. I don't think it's a Desmond Ridder or Malik Willis situation. I bet he ends up going top 15, top 20, maybe 3 for all I know. But it's a really tough one to read, and I think that's why he is by far the most. No one's talking about Cam Ward. No one's talking about Abdul Carter. Everyone's talking about Stewart because of that unknown, and because of obviously the star power around him and everything else.
Yeah, Cam Ward, by the way, the updated odds I looked at today, Mike. Cam Ward is minus 20,000 to be the first overall pick.
So I can bet 20,000 to win $1.
To win $100. To win $100.
Oh,
yes.
Good. All right, well then I'm going to do it.
I mean, it just goes to show you, like, everybody knows that's what's happening. Travis Hunter is minus 250 to go second overall. And by the way, Abdul Carter is minus 175 to go 3 overall. Yeah. So it's likely Shadur gets past those first 3, which is probably, if it goes that way, when the draft really starts. But like you said, we don't ever know. Is there a scenario, Mike, outside of 9 where if it is a day 2 or 3 quarterback that would excite you?
It would excite me if we got intel that Kellen Moore was just drooling in the film room and saying, this is the guy to run my offense. Like, they're all so different. Jackson Dart is so different from Shadur Sanders and the Louisville quarterback, and obviously Jalen Milroe. And I mean, for me to say this is the guy that fits Kellen Moore's offense, I could probably, squint and tell you who I like best. But if I find out that, oh no, ever since February, Kellen Moore has been saying, whatever it takes, I want this guy. And they trade up to 25 and they get him because they're so convicted that this guy was born to to run my style of offense. That would excite me. That's what I hope the Saints eventually find. But it's a lot easier said than done.
Sure. It's also something, Mike, where I look at the success Kellen Moore has had in different spots, and like Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, like these quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, they're all very different from each other stylistically. So is there really a mold, like in talking to Kellen Moore?
You're exactly right. There's not a mold. I mean, I think it's probably Kellen Moore's a great strength of his, that he has been so adaptable and versatile, and he's a chameleon. But it's made it very hard for us to say, well, he obviously is going to want this style of receiver. He's obviously going to want the tight end, or he's obviously going to want this style of quarterback, because he's shown an adaptability, and he's said that at every turn. We talked to him throughout Super Bowl week. We talked to him ever since he's been hired. I mean, he went to get to go to work with Justin Herbert. He's like, well, I'm going to do a lot of things that Justin Herbert does well. Then he obviously very famously goes to Philadelphia, and he's like, all right, I've never been a real run-first guy, but I've got this offensive line, and I've got Saquon Barkley, so let's go run for 2,000 yards. So, no, you're exactly right. I mean, he might have a vision for Jalen Milroe-led offense, and he might have a vision for Quinn Ewers-led offense. And we don't get to obviously say, oh, we know exactly what his style is.
I hope it's not Jalen Milroe, Mike. If it's Jalen Milroe, I'm out.
I hope, I think the stars would align better for his guy to be a 2026 draft pick, probably. I think there's some exciting names in it, especially locally. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of a deeper class, so you get a little more bang for your buck wherever you're picking. And unfortunately, I will predict the Saints to be picking somewhere around 9 next year. This doesn't feel like this is the draft class you're going to get the value at, to me, at quarterback. So I go ahead and use that 9 pick on another foundational piece. But like I said, quarterback trumps everything. If they have a first-round grade on a guy, take him. Take him and be happy to take him. If you have a third-round grade on a guy, you don't force it.
Great segue. My final question. In your estimation, what is the biggest need at 9?
Yeah. Future 3-time All-Pro or more.
At what position?
That really is. I mean, I say that a little facetiously, but I've never covered a Saints team quite like this, where we could really list every position, Matt, and it's a need either now or soon. And there's nothing this team needs more than, all right, who's on the first line of, all right, this is what the Saints have to build around. When you talk about the Patriots, you say they have Drake May and Christian Gonzalez. Like the Saints need they have this guy and this guy. And is it Tolifog and Chris Olave right now, even though Olave's only got 2 more controllable years on his contract? Like, whoever that is. Now, I would say, in general, this is the first time they've been picking in the top 10 since 2008. When you get a number 9 pick, I think that would be a great place to take a defensive end or a left tackle. Those guys just aren't as good when you get them in round 2 and round 3. Get them in the top 10, you get cornerstones at defensive end or left tackle. I don't love the choices at defensive end and left tackle in the top 10 in this year's draft, unfortunately. So I don't know if the stars align there, but ideally I would fill defensive end or left tackle. But more than anything, even if they end up taking Ashton Ginty, which would make me squirm a little bit, as long as it is a guy that is one of the 10 best players in this draft class. That's what they need. They need foundational pieces.
Please not Ashton Genty. There's
just so many other.
Mike, I've said there's two things. Like, you want to see me do one of the red face, bald head, sweating rants. There's two things. Move up from 9 or draft a running back. Like, you need your top level draft capital. You can't give up future years of ones because, as we said, you need everything. And running back, no position depreciates faster than that, and you're nowhere close to winning. Like, you cannot go draft a running back at 9.
I agree. I agree with that. And my other anti-running back argument is it's the one position where I think you find really good ones for cheap in free agency or in the middle rounds of the draft. Like, really good ones. Yeah. You don't find really good left tackles and defensive ends cheap in free agency. You don't find really good left tackles and defensive ends in the middle rounds of the draft.
Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. You'll get him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Mike Triplett, and read stuff over at NewOrleans.football. Thanks, man. Always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Man, be well. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Back open today. Of course, closed Sunday, Monday. Back open on Tuesday. And I know we're in Lent for a couple of more weeks. So a lot of people think, Matt, I get it, Supper Club, but Supper Club's the steak place. And look, they do have absolutely incredible steaks. Their Wagyu is amazing. I told you about the herb beef. I was there last Wednesday for dinner with a client. We had the herb beef. It was amazing. I don't want to go on a tangent, but the Japanese herb beef, H-E-R-B, where it's this farm in Japan where they only feed the cattle the specific herbs that have created unintentionally this amazing flavor. Anyway, there's 2 restaurants in America that sell it. One's in New York and one is Supper Club on Perkins Road. But everything they do at Supper Club is the best. Chef does have Friday Lenten specials. So if you're looking for dinner on Friday, they'll have Lenten specials. They have king crabs, which are in now, like literally from the Deadliest Catch boats. And on the box that they come in, it tells you what boat, like the boats from the show, like what boat that they were caught on. They got stone crabs from Florida. They're in season. They are giant. And they buy them directly from the fishermen in Florida, so they're fresh. It's not changing hands multiple ways along the way. They've got sea bass. They've got salmon. The bottom line is, if you're looking for a seafood option this Lent, Supper Club still has the best of that too. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. Remember, they're booking right now for graduation parties. Do not wait, especially if you have a larger group. They're going to fill up. Supper Club, right there on Perkins Road near Bluebonnet. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here. It is After Further Review. I'm a few minutes late getting to Jared Mitchell. My apologies for that. But Jay Mitch is going to join us next. We'll talk a little LSU baseball. Excited to have the former Tiger great with us when we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Remember, over at Action Industries, they proudly boast the advanced turnaround group. You know good and well, turnaround season's here. So at Action Industries, what they've done is assembled a core group that have built their careers on turnaround execution. They're not just taking workers from other parts of the business and just dumping them in the turnaround world. They know how specific a set of resources you need. So this is a different pool of resources specifically for turnaround work. It's the same people at Action, right? So you have workers that are proficient in turnaround work that are working under the same company, local company with the same great vision. And if you need someone that's going to get in, get your turnaround work done efficiently with great safety, great quality, that's the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries with 24-hour availability for emergency specialty welding. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't in the cars or pickup trucks.
Connor Ware will start for LSU tonight against Nicholls. He'll be the first, very likely many LSU pitchers running out there to get a little work as LSU takes on Nicholls about an hour from right now. Jared Mitchell, former Tiger great, of course, the most outstanding player of the 2009 College World Series, now working with us at Guarantee Media. Biz Dev over there in the Houston area, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Jay Mitch, how are you, man?
I'm living, man. How we doing?
Doing awesome. Hey, as an offensive guy, what was your take away watching LSU go to Oklahoma, winning the series the way they did, needing only 5 pitchers to do it?
As an offensive guy, or even just a baseball guy, I personally think what they've done over the last 2 weeks, obviously part of that was the series against Oklahoma. What they've done over the last 2 weeks, in my opinion, is probably the strongest thing they've done this year, man. Like, they spent how many hours at the ballpark 2 weeks ago at home through the rain delays? Then you come home, I think 2 days later, you play what easily could have been a letdown game after that long time, knowing you had a quick turnaround to get on the road again. You take care of business, I think 12-3 that night, and then you go on the road knowing there wouldn't be a ton of fans, knowing it was a top 10 team, knowing that this team plays really well at home. And you go and sweep them, and you only needed 5 pitchers to do it. What I've seen them do over the last 2 weeks has been so impressive for 18 to 22-year-olds, and I think that's not given enough. And that's, for me, that's outside of what any stats can sit here and tell you. It's literally watching the job at hand and getting the task done.
Jerry, one of the things that was just so integral to your team that won it all was Chad Jones coming on late, right? Coming back from football and had that late season emergence. Look, Zach Hess did a similar thing in 2017 for LSU, the team that came up just short. Do you see a guy on this staff, I don't know how closely you get to watch every game, but do you see a guy on this staff that you think, or maybe guys that has that potential, if you keep grinding, that come May, right, and then hopefully into deep into June, is a guy that maybe doesn't have a huge role now but will by then?
I think I've been banging his name since the start of the year. He's had flashes this year. I think he's going to come on again in another flash. But William Smith's going to be huge for him. I think they were poised to kind of push him to getting where he wanted to go early. And I won't say it went bad. It just didn't go great. It just didn't go where he wanted it to be. But the stuff is absolutely electric. Everything I'm hearing about his makeup as a kid, I think is impressive. And I feel like there is another surge from him coming. and it's going to be that point where he feels like he's no longer a freshman and kind of graduates a little bit. I'll say that name, but I've also been banging the name of Zach Cowan. Like, we had him on our show last night. I said, I don't know, probably about a month and a half ago, I thought, don't be surprised if he ends up with the third most innings pitched on the year. Like, that's how much he's going to end up being used. He's showing up. He's showing out every time he's got the ball. And I expect him to keep doing it. He's one of those guys that's got pitch ability. He's able to throw any pitch he wants in any count that he wants, and doing stuff like that, and also being able to locate, like, it just keeps hitters off guard so much. And you don't really see that too much at this level. And to do it with the fastball sitting at 93 to 94 is it's impressive.
You know, I'm curious. One of the things about this, let me dig in a little there, Jared, because one of the conversations I've had with some scouts about Cowan is, look, the fastball and the changeups plus, but maybe the second or third time you get through a lineup and they see that changeup, it's going to be harder for him to get through the lineup. So he's the guy that's best served out of the bullpen, who can maybe get you 6 or 9 outs, as opposed to someone you're counting on maybe to be a starter that's going to try to extend deep into a game. Give me a hitter's perspective on facing Zach Cowan.
Well, the thing about it is if he's able to throw that changeup and it dances the way it does, like, you may not see him striking out a ton of guys 2-3 times into the lineup, but he's going to be effective, and he's shown to be that effective as he's come out here. It just so happens that there's other guys that have been placed as starters instead of him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a starter where he came from, obviously, last year. He was super effective. He's been effective this year, and I don't really see it slowing down. And with what this team has, you may not need him for maybe more than maybe twice through a lineup. Using him 3 times through a lineup, you may not need that in any given game at this point. And that's a luxury to have that as a team. That's a luxury to be in that position.
Yeah, it's a great point. Hopefully you don't. You know what I mean? You got 3 starters right now who seem to be going pretty good. He's really good in that role right now. Hey, a couple more for you. We've also seen them really settle into this platoon in right DH and then third base as well. Jared, walk me through maybe the pros, but maybe the challenges as well that those guys are dealing with, coming to the yard every day not knowing if their name's going to be on the lineup card.
I mean, it's tough, and I think it's something that as young men, especially guys that have aspirations to go on beyond this level, it's tough to deal with. But the one thing I kind of think you have to be able to kind of lay back on and put all your focus on stuff like this. And Zach kind of talked about it yesterday when we got a chance to talk to him, is I show up to the yard. I'm trying to do what I can do to get better, and I'm trying to do whatever the team needs me to do. And I think when you're able to kind of stay off of the me idea and what may be in it for me, it kind of allows you to be in the moment, and it kind of allows you to stay in, hey, this is what's being asked of me today. Let me go be the best man at this today. And it's not easily done. It's not easily done. And to be able to do what they've done so far as a group of young men, I think it's impressive. And that goes into that 2-week span thing that I was talking about. It just kind of shows you the mindset of these kids so far and where they are. And it also shows you what kind of chemistry and camaraderie they got as a team.
Yeah, by the way, the interview that Jared's referencing is mic'd up. If you want to check it out on YouTube, or the link's there on Twitter as well, at mic'd_up_8, if you want to go check out the interview with Zach Cowan. And I know it was last week, a couple days ago, y'all talked to Kason Evans as well, right?
Yeah.
So you make sure you get all that content on YouTube, or you can. I'll retweet the link right now on Twitter for those that want to go see it. But it's MIKDUP_8 if you want to go check out the interview with Zach Cowan. All right, before you go, one more thing. Give me a thought on this weekend with LSU going to Auburn. I'm not sure how much doing SEC Network stuff yet. If you've gotten to take a look at Auburn, just a maybe 10,000-foot view of the Tigers that LSU is going to face on the road this week.
Yeah, I mean, so I haven't dove in them too much. I was going to look at that a little bit more. I'm actually going to be in the studio on Thursday, so we'll see where that's at. But, I mean, they're a solid squad. I actually expected Alabama to kind of play them well and beat them and do better than what they did last week. And Auburn surprised me. Like, they've always kind of been that team that teeters, like, right there in the middle, and they're making a little bit of a run. And this is a good test for LSU to go on the road and play this club again. I think a lot of people look at it as like, oh, it's Auburn, you should be able to take care of it. I'm not sure they're that Auburn team this year. I think they got a good club. Obviously, they got some good starting pitching going on over there. Sammy Dutton's thrown well this year. I think he's leading that team in ERA. They got a good club, man. And if they're going to play it this way, it should be interesting to see what this LSU team can go there and do again. Like people, I think we've made a lot of talk about what they did and or didn't do at Texas, but they've swept 3 other SEC weekends, and that's something that you don't see a lot. And for them to be doing those kind of things shows you kind of where this team is. I'm excited to see what they're going to do again in another big road test and another team that's really hungry and ready to play, and see where they are.
Jared Mitchell joining our team at Guarantee, doing some biz dev in Houston. So if you're in Houston or that area, you run a business, you're interested in doing some digital marketing, look up Jared on LinkedIn. He's easy to find, and we'll look forward to catching up again soon, man. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
It's our pleasure. That is Jared Mitchell. It's After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Final break. We'll wrap up next.
AFR.
Right by the Watermark in the Renaissance, Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. We talk about the Renaissance. Of course, we love telling you and highlighting their meeting space. 13,000 square feet of meeting space. The ballroom is 7,000 square feet. They can comfortably host an event for up to 500 people. Their breakout rooms can host 100 people. They got a boardroom that can host up to a couple of dozen. So no matter what size of event you're trying to host, from if it's an annual conference, if it's an awards banquet, if it's a nonprofit event, if it's school fundraisers, sports teams, like whenever LSU football, when on Friday night before home games, they go stay at the Renaissance. They have all their meetings there. Formals, the cotillion etiquette classes, they host everything there at the Renaissance. It's for anything and everything from grandma coming in for the holidays and needing a place to stay to hosting your first-class events at the Renaissance. They're in the business of saying yes. So check them out today right there. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
after further review. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We appreciate so much our friends over at Sunshine. You can learn more at sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Big shout out to all of our cane farmers as well, man. They need some dry weather so they can get to fertilize, and so here's hoping they cooperate, the weather cooperates, so we can get to some uninterrupted baseball as well. It'd be very nice to see. Although we did get uninterrupted games this weekend in Norman, although the weather was absolutely atrocious. All right, let's start through the starting line. No otter locks. Muse, I'm not sure if you remember. Jimmy is in Morocco.
Yeah, so I didn't.
Watching tennis.
Yeah, I texted you last night. And I was like, hey, what were the otter locks? You're like, yeah, our guy's in Morocco. I'm like, oh, yeah, now I remember that. Yeah.
Who goes to Morocco to watch tennis?
Jimmy Ott.
Great answer.
A man of class.
Great answer. That's 100% the right answer. It's what that is. That's exactly what's happening. So no otter locks this week. Although it is Masters Week and on Live at Lunch, which if you're not familiar, Jimmy and Charles Handegriff host Live at Lunch weekdays 11 to 1 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And they do a lot of sports betting content. And with Masters Week, they have a lot of golf handicappers and contributors. So they will have consensus Masters plays. I think Max Gotro is going to have those for us tomorrow. So we should have all the plays for the Masters on tomorrow's show. We'll get them up at louisianasports.net as well. All right, let's run through starting lineup real quick. So no Jimmy, but run through the lineup here tonight. It is going to be Connor Ware on the bump. And it's interesting, considering it was Schmidt a week ago. Maybe they're just alternating turns here, but these are guys that both have to pitch tonight. Ware, Schmidt, Newt's got to get back out there and throw. I mean, it's a weird irony that the thing that was great, sweeping a series and using only 5 pitchers, that also had a detriment, which is you didn't get to throw anybody. So a lot of guys got to get innings tonight. So Ware will get the start tonight, and we'll see how Jay Johnson uses this. If it's a couple of innings for Ware, maybe try to get Schmidt out there for a couple of innings, then you take it inning by inning with everybody else to get home. But the platoon that we've been kind of accustomed to, and can you find out who Nicholls is throwing for me, please?
Yeah.
I don't know if they've posted it on, but I'm curious if they're going righty or lefty. But Reeves is at third, and Pearson's in right. Fry's DHing, but Reeves at third tells me they're probably throwing a righty. But getting Fry back in the line and maybe try to get him going after a tough 0-for-5 day with 3 strikeouts as well. But again, I'm not worried about Fry. Fry's been really good. All right, here you go. Curiel Jones Dickinson at the top. No surprise there. Pearson in right. Fry DHing. Milam drops down to the 6-hole playing short. And then the bottom third of the lineup, Aaron Beatty, Reeves, Stanfield. So Aaron Beatty, who's been catching in the midweek, will get another go. I love catching Aaron Beatty in the midweek. The last 2 weeks, he's 4 of 8 with a homer and 6 RBI. He's really been swinging a hot bat in the midweek, and it's getting him. It's serving 2 purposes. It's getting Hernandez rest, and it's getting Aaron Beatty experience. So I love this whole, let Hernandez catch the weekends, let Aaron Beatty catch in the midweek, and that strategy is working. So keep going that way. Do you have it?
No, Nicholls hasn't posted it. And I haven't seen anybody with the full lineup sheet that they give out at the games.
You check Koki?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all follow Koki, who's at the games covering it for the Advocate. So he'll normally post the lineup on his Twitter. So if you follow, that's why I asked if he was there. So anyway, so Curiel Jones Dickinson, Pearson, Fry, Milam, Aaron Beatty, Reeves, Stanfield. My guess is, again, that Nicholls will throw righty, and we'll see how this goes. Muse, how was your time off?
Time off was great, man.
What'd you do?
I really enjoyed it. Well, let's see. Some time with family, some time with the girlfriend, played some golf, watched LSU sweep Oklahoma from the warmth of my own place and not having to sit out in that weather. And
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, man. Really relaxing. I slept till 11:14 yesterday. It was fantastic.
When we went to the Endymion Ball, I didn't go to bed till 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
They don't kick you out of the ball till 3.
Right.
So it's a late. I'm fairly certain I was up at 9.
Oh.
I'm thinking, when was the last time I slept until 11? 14? 11, 14?
11:14. That was the first time for me in a long, long time. Normally I'm up around 8:39 as well.
Yeah, so that 8:39 was only because I was out till 4.
Yeah.
I'm usually like a 5 a.m. riser.
You do your cold plunge and everything.
I do my
yeah.
cold plunge and all that stuff. I don't know. I get antsy. Got to get up and go do something. All right, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Go check it out wherever you get podcasts or on YouTube. Thanks so much for being there. Welcome back, Muse. Great to have you back. Paulie, thanks so much. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.